The following podcast contains naughty language and ridiculous situations. Listener discretion is advised.
So my favorite part is when I try to make an intro and Raven Shadow walks in right in front of me. I fucking hate it. I hate it. I had a whole intro plan. Welcome to Trick or Treat Radio. The fuck?
Welcome all you little zombies. You're listening to Trick or Treat Radio, starring the Deadites.
Welcome to episode 331 of Trick or Treat Radio. Trick or Treat Radio is a phantasmagorical spin kick straight through the heart of pop culture, navigated by the Deadites. The Deadites are the world's greatest electroshock band. We destroy monsters, we drink booze, and certain co-hosts interrupt intros. Yeah! Raven Shadow, why didn't you wait till the music starts?
I didn't hear the music.
You can yeah, but when it plays, you'll hear it out there. It's pretty loud.
Well, I didn't hear it.
Right, so that means don't fucking come in.
Well, I didn't fucking know. They have the door open.
Get the shit out of your
Jesus.
ears.
The shit out
He
of your mouth.
prepared he prepared an intro. He was practicing it for the last couple hours and you just fucking ruined it.
I suspect there was no intro, and this was
Wow.
a clever
That just goes to show how you do your
Wow.
research. Our guest tonight is someone that I have wanted on the show since the first show.
So with that kind of acclaim and that kind of love, I think it should be no problem for someone of your Barkerness. Barkerness, is that the word?
Barkerness?
Yeah,
Stop
Bob
talking.
Barkerness.
Clive
And
Barkerness?
your showmanship that you should be able to do an intro regardless of any
I'm going to grab you
interruptions.
by the ankle and light your head on the ground like a match if you keep talking.
Please keep talking. Please keep talking.
Keep talking.
This is exciting.
I would pay through the nose to see that.
All right, so Mars, do you want to do your intro now to introduce our guest? Was it relevant to our guest?
It was vague versus, the fact that I know you have the stats and stuff like that. But
Okay.
It is 100% true, and Wolfie will back me up. When I first started listening to podcasts, there were a couple that were my favorites that I'd always name drop to Wolfie.
Yep.
Bloody Good Horror and Destroy the Brain. And, they were definitely early, influences on us. But we made a list of people we wanted to bother to come on the show, mostly to raise our real estate. And for whatever reason, we were never able to make it happen for a long, long time, but we finally did. So, and this person was on that original list.
Yes, way back. I can verify. It's been over 6 years, and
Yeah.
whether or not we were, I don't know if we were starstruck, Mars, or whatever it was. But you know what? To round out the 2018 New Guest November, we are now joined by the editor-in-chief for Destroythebrain.com, the host of the We Need to Talk About Horror podcast, and programmer of the Late Night Grindhouse, the one and only Andy Triefenbach.
Jesus Christ, that's a lot of weight. Thank you guys for having me. Seriously.
Of course, man. And obviously, like, you've called into the show, and we've chatted here and there, but it's great to finally get you on the show and to have you on. I mean, you are one of the pioneers, I guess you could say, in this, and it was great to hear you come back with another show with We Need to Talk About Horror, and and obviously Destroy the Brain is constantly updating with news and reviews and everything. So I'm sure most people out there have heard of Destroy the Brain, but if you haven't, definitely go check it out. But yeah, it's awesome having you, Andy, and really looking forward to just hanging out with you and shooting the shit with you for the entire night.
Same here. Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. So before we jump into stuff and get too derailed, why don't you tell folks about just sort of what you got going on in your corner of the internet with Destroy the Brain and your podcast and Late Night Grindhouse and everything?
So yeah, Destroythebrain.com started, like Mars said, I mean, it started back in 2007, and it was just a podcast, and it was just me, which was very awkward and very hard to do, to carry out like an hour-and-a-half show just by yourself. Obviously, I went on and off with podcasting in the past 11 years, but back in 2010, I launched the website just as a full-fledged website that did news and stuff like that. And then Late Night Grindhouse, which is a midnight theatrical program here in St. Louis that we still do here. We actually changed theaters, so we're at the Moolah Theater and Lounge. And it's just a monthly get-together, really. It's really community-based, which is what I wanted to do here in St. Louis because I felt like we had a good horror base here in St. Louis. And I just wanted to get everybody together and say, hey, let's watch these cool movies you've seen, and then, some movies that maybe you haven't checked out. Like, next month we're showing 3615 Code Pierre Noel. I don't know if you guys have heard about this.
Yeah, I've never seen it, but I've always wanted to see it.
Oh, it's an amazing film.
Yeah,
it's basically like Die Hard, Home Alone, and Rambo thrown in a blender.
amazing.
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah, I've never seen it. That sounds great. I wish that I could make it to St. Louis to check that out.
I bet you somebody's going to show it up there. And if not, I think AGFA or somebody else is planning a Blu-ray early next year.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that would be phenomenal. Yeah, it sounds it sounds really cool, and it's great that obviously the people in St. Louis have something like that you're doing. So if anyone is obviously within driving distance of St. Louis, definitely look up if you've never been. Check out the Late Night Grindhouse at the the Moolah Theater.
Yeah, Moolah Theater and Lounge. You can find all the info at destroythebrain.com or Late Night Grindhouse, and that's NITE, not NIGHT.
So yeah, everyone, if you're anywhere nearby, check it out. And if you're not, then obviously you still got destroythebrain.com. You still got we need to talk about horror. And I dig what you guys do. I checked out the most recent episode while I was driving to the studio, and you guys were talking about the new Halloween, and it was cool hearing the Halloween Horror Nights discussion because I've never been, so it was kind of cool hearing discussion about that and the experience of attending.
Yeah, I mean it's been 9 years since I attended the one in California, but it's like if you're a horror fan, you want to try to make it out. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, it sounds great. So it's really cool having you here with us, Andy, and I'll let folks know what we're doing for the evening so we don't get too far along into this intro without talking about it. But we had consulted with Andy and gave him a list of films that we were thinking about discussing on the show. And this was actually one we had picked about a month ago. We were originally going to do Molly about a month ago, and it just so happened that we ended up getting a screener of Housewife, which was one of our, most anticipated films of the year. So we did call an audible and unfortunately put Molly off. But, but now I'm glad that you picked this, Andy, because, I was looking forward to checking it out, and I wasn't sure if we're going to be able to fit it back into the schedule. But this is from Artsploitation Films. We're going to be checking out Molly and talking about that in just a little while. And it is available. It's actually it's ridiculous. It's like $11 on Blu-ray right now or something insane like that. So if want to make sure I mention it now. So if you guys are interested, you dig what we have to say about it later on, definitely check that out. It's available, and the DVD is like $9. So if you want to own physical media and you want to own it, you can get it real cheap. So just through Amazon, and I'll post it obviously up on our website when this episode drops, and also on our Amazon store as well. So give it a look if you're curious. One other thing I did want to talk about before we get too far is obviously Black Friday. I don't know if you guys have any stories about Black Friday. I've never really participated in Black Friday. I just sort of stay away, and I don't want to go out. But I actually did most of my shopping from the privacy of my own home, which was nice.
I did all my shopping for the privacy of my home, but
Yep.
I worked like a fucking asshole overnight.
yeah, that's right. You had a midnight shift on Black Friday, right?
Yeah, it sucks. I'm gonna quit my job.
Why? I thought you liked your job.
I do like my job. I already know I'm not doing that again. So my
Well, you have another year, so
Yeah, it's only once a year.
So I actually did this on Amazon, and it's a shame that I can't use the Amazon affiliate link because we would have got a good chunk of change with this one. But so I was looking, and there were some pretty good deals on PCs, and obviously you guys have heard me talk about needing a new computer for the studio since the one the one we use I built about 8 years ago now, 7 years ago maybe. Yeah, go ahead, Mark.
I have a question about this.
Yes.
Why don't you have me buy it? And then
I just wasn't thinking. I
yeah,
saw a
I
deal,
didn't think till right now. I just wanted to
and
see
it was
if,
it was a credit card as well. So I don't know how it would have got you the money. I guess
PayPal,
no, I can't. It's credit card. So I actually thought of it after the fact, and I was like, shit. But whatever. It's done. So I got a pretty sweet deal on it's a gaming PC, but really, I mean that's sort of what I need here for this. It's got it's got a lot of power. It's a fast processor, and I'm doing some upgrades myself. So it's not quite ready for prime time, but probably in a week or two, hopefully we'll have it up and running. I got to install all the software and make sure it works and everything, because Windows 10, I don't know if all the software I have is going to work. So I know for a fact the app that I use for all the music and interstitials and stuff will not work on Windows 10, so I need to find something out with that. But with all that said, I did purchase a new computer for the studio, and so we need to figure out some ways to sort of help to pay for it, but I couldn't pass up the deal. I basically saved about $400 on it, so it was a pretty good deal. And I actually I had a virtual reality headset that I had for the last game. Well, I guess it's maybe a little personal, but I worked on a project where I needed one and didn't need it after the project was over, so I just ended up selling it and using most of that to pay for it. So anyways, we have a new computer. We've acquired one. If you guys are feeling in the giving mood and want to go ahead and give us some money to help pay for it, we certainly won't turn it down. You can go to trickortreatradio.com. We obviously have a few ways you can help out. Just, even just helping out by doing your shopping through Amazon using our link, that would certainly help out. We got a tiny cut. So if you are shopping for the holidays, make sure to use our link for that on trickortreatradio.com. You can scroll to go to that page, scroll down, you'll see the Amazon link. Just click on it and just do shopping after you click on our link. And also we have the PayPal donation button. If you want to go ahead and donate, you can go ahead and use that link. Send whatever denomination you want. Even if just a few bucks or whatever certainly helps. And obviously you can buy stuff as well. So on the trickortreatradio.com site, click on store. We got some digital content. We got the Trick or Treat Radio Greatest Hits, volumes 1 through 3, and other stuff like that. So
what you did is very similar to how I got money to buy all my Christmas presents this year.
Did you pull a Nick Gage?
No, I much like that thing that you got to work on a project, I did that same thing with a similar thing.
Same thing with a similar thing.
Yeah, it was a rental car.
You know the thing, right?
And I sold it.
Well, you're not supposed to do that.
Why? Well, no, I'm just kidding. It wasn't a rental car. It was one of those zip cars, right? Those aren't even real. Those aren't even real.
Sold a zip
Those aren't even
car?
real cars, right? Come on. They're not going to miss that. Right in the commercial, it says there's like 100 billion of those things. How are they going to know that one is gone?
Well,
I painted it. I had a can of spray paint.
I hope you didn't put an actual real credit card on file, because they'll probably just charge a card for it.
I mean, kind of, MZ, if anyone calls you, just tell them you don't even know what zip car is. And you never even heard of me. If depending on how many days go by, that'll probably be the truth.
Does I don't know, did anyone have any Black Friday stories or anything like that, since we're talking about it?
No, the only thing I went shopping for on Black Friday involved hops and tobacco. That's pretty much it in the stores down the street.
Wait, did you go to the to that new
Pot dispensary?
Yeah, the dispensary yet?
No, we still can't get in, man.
They won't let him in.
Oh no, they'll let him in.
His picture's on the fucking. Do not let this get in.
Jacques the Bouncer's like, no, monsieur.
No, it's crazy though. They've actually had to hire a third cop for security, and they're putting in porta potties on outside of it because people are now urinating on houses.
Way to fucking go, Lester.
Wow.
But no, it's people coming in. You figure it's also too. They've a couple other buildings are actually charging $5 to park. It's like fucking Woodstock out there. Because there's so much demand for it. You have to park and then take a shuttle bus to then get in line.
Oh my God.
It's like Star Wars Episode 1, 2, and 3 open on the same day.
That's what pot does to people, man.
Yeah, well, think of it this way, though.
You just sounded like my grampy.
When they were
That's
on the
what-
bar.
That's what the
That's
weed
what-
makes people crazy.
That's what the marijuana cigarettes do.
The weed makes you want to see shitty movies.
But think about it though. If there were only 2 stores in Massachusetts that sold alcohol, it'd
Well,
be
that
fucking
is true,
crazy,
yeah.
too.
Yeah, because there's only 2. There is only 2 stores in Massachusetts. There's one in Northampton and one right down the road from Raven Shadow.
Right. So
They
What a
very-
coincidence.
Yeah, they very strategically placed it.
Oh, you should have seen the dance he was doing when he found out that place opened.
but that's the thing too. We talked about it. Like, I'd much rather see my guy and get it tax free. You know? It's,
Yeah, but you have to hang out for 90 minutes and watch YouTube videos.
well, it's fair.
You better than waiting in line for
Yeah.
8 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
You know. But I did watch a bunch of movies on Black Friday.
No way.
I did. I did.
No
You'll be, su-
fucking way.
you'll be surprised by some of these, and I might as well be probably.
I doubt it.
I
He's still
watched-
mad at you.
He's still, well, it's fucking. So, how many episodes? The show ain't over yet either. No, I watched. The 3 billboards outside of wherever the fuck, Missouri.
Whatever the fuck.
Can we?
Oh, you
Wow.
mean where I'm from?
Oh, it's very nice there. It's
Can
very
we-
nice there.
Can we just go?
I've been wanting to see that too.
You know what's funny? I
Cue
actually
Buster.
watched that on Black Friday too. so
Really?
I
Did
watched
you?
it.
It's fucking good, right?
Yeah, no, it's great. It was a rewatch. I love that movie.
Yeah. So I watched that. Then I watched the new Coen Brothers joint, the Ballad of
Buster.
Oh,
Buster.
the Ballad
Yeah.
of Buster Scruggs. Yeah,
That was fun.
that was good.
Then I watched Delicatessen.
Whoa,
Oh, love that movie.
Yeah. See, look at you.
Look at you.
Look at me,
watching
looking at
foreign
you.
films over here.
You've seen that before, though, haven't you?
No.
Oh, I thought
no.
we watched that back in the day at the manor.
Maybe. I mean, there was a lot of. I
Damn.
didn't need legalized pot back then, but
Yeah.
let's just say I had access to things.
I'm going to go out on a limb and assume you weren't home alone.
Ollie was there.
There's a lady there, I bet.
I had some company for some of those
Oh.
films. And then, oddly enough, I tried to watch Ant-Man and the Wasp, and I fell asleep during that.
Well, you must have started after 5.
No, I started that in the morning, too, but it was weird. It was a reverse time travel thing. But, yeah, so I watched some films. You're welcome. And Missouri's very nice. Big ups to Missouri.
Do you have Missouri flashbacks?
Yeah. They got grass over there.
Go Mizzou.
Yeah,
What?
They have grass.
Yeah.
Not the kind of grass you can get down the road from your
I'm
house.
sure there's a couple of guys down
It's the one you got to wait in line forever.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
Jesus Christ. Well, Raven Chat, I'm proud of you.
See?
There'll be a test at the end of the episode.
Nice. What? Not math, right?
So that's have you seen you've seen a few films now from Jean-Pierre Jeunet, right? Have you seen Amelie?
I started watching it.
Oh, okay.
But no, I think something happened. But I enjoyed it. I liked it a lot.
Do you see
City of Lost
City
Children.
of Lost
Oh,
Children?
yeah, forget about it.
Yeah, that movie's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah, no, he's
Alien Resurrection.
Yes, I know you're Ripley.
Much better movie than people give it credit for. Seriously.
No,
I
it really
don't
isn't.
know.
I actually
What,
haven't seen it.
Resurrection?
I haven't seen it since the theater.
I love that fucking
Same.
movie.
Yeah.
I like it way more than 3. That's for fucking sure.
Well, that's
That-
not saying a lot.
That fucking
like,
bag
I
of
like
chords.
3 too. I like 3 too, but
It's
I think
fine.
4 is underrated.
Yeah, no, I mean, I
Very
don't know. Like,
underrated.
people, here's the thing. Like, it was, like, maybe not, like, the best convoluence of really great creators. Like, you know, maybe it would have been better if it was more a Whedon movie or, you know, more the other way. But the reality is that, you know, I think the fact that it's the way it is, it makes it like a neat thing. Like, I don't know, like, I'm gonna break it down. Like, people get so fucking precious about stuff. It drives me crazy. Like, you know, like, Aliens was fine. Everybody, fucking calm down.
Certain points of that movie was like a
It's
fucking
not Raiders of the
fever
Lost
dream.
Ark or nothing. Yeah, but like, yeah, I agree. Like, and I think it was fine, and it was also the blueprint for, you know, a show I love too. So, you know, maybe that makes it a little sentimental, but whatever. The things they fucked up seemingly are the things that people like. You know, you don't put the guy who was Chucky and in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and have him be the doctor and then have it be a big shock when he turns crazy. Like, I knew that guy was fucking crazy when he first came on the screen.
Oh, you kinda saw
You're
that
just
coming.
saying that because you can say it on the show.
Why? What do you mean?
that caused a huge argument on your other show before.
On the wrestling show?
No, Elm Street Kids.
Oh, what? That's ancient history.
So many
Whatever.
shows.
Yeah. There's only 3 of them, Mars.
You know what? The reality is, Elm Street Kids. Like, I was that was like a, you know, I was gonna get in trouble no matter what. Like, so no matter what I said, like, it was hard to keep track. It was usually if I tried to get in trouble, I didn't, and then I'd show up and be like, try to be really positive, and I'd be like, Jim Dandy, I really like this movie, and then all of a sudden it'd be like, just pile up on me. So whatever. It's not that different from here, actually. Now that I think about it out loud. But no, I don't know. I don't think it's that bad. I don't know. People also take, and I love Alien, but people also take into account that there was a lot of happy accidents about Alien. You know.
Yeah.
That was a little. That might, to have the giant, apparently mentally disabled alien was not the best idea that they had in the series, but whatever. And also got a good what other song got a really good Vamp Quartet practice song out of it? Yeah,
that's true.
So there.
So the other thing I did this week that I wanted to discuss was I went and saw Suspiria with Claudio Simonetti's Goblin performing the score live.
I thought you meant the movie again.
Yeah, I'm like, really?
No. I mean, they showed the film while they played the score live.
The Suspiria.
Yeah, they played
Argento.
along with it.
Yeah, the 1977 Argento.
That must have been something.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Like they played. They didn't like turn the sound down, so they played kind of over what was going on. So it was. I don't know if they stripped out some audio. I don't think they did, but so it was slightly. It was a slightly different sound to it, but it was obviously loud when they played, so it kind of overpowered the movie a little bit.
So it didn't sound layered.
Not really. Like it definitely sounded. It sounded cool. Like it sounded good, and it was a different experience. Especially a movie I've seen countless times. It definitely felt like a different experience, and it was the new print of it too, the 40th anniversary print. So it was cool seeing that. Broadcast on a big screen. Obviously, unfortunately, it wasn't 35 millimeter, but it was digital, but it still looked good, on the big screen. And so afterwards, they played maybe a half hour of just kind of, greatest hits kind of deal. They did Tenebrae, which was fucking awesome. They did the theme from Demons.
Nice.
They did a bunch of stuff from Dawn of the Dead and Sleepless.
Nice.
Which is actually a great score.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I think it was their last great tune.
And I think the band, if I'm not mistaken, is Demonia, basically, but they renamed
Pretty
it.
much.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Just renamed it to Claudio Simonetti's Goblin. So it's one of the 9 billion goblins out there right now.
Well, did you see the Goblin without Claudio?
We did not actually. We saw them live about, was it 5 or 6 years ago? Was it?
Oh, shorter than that. Like
it was probably about
4 years
5.
ago.
Okay, yeah, 4 or 5, and
4 years ago.
It was right before Claudio left Goblin. I think he had actually. I want to say he left mid-tour, so we had seen like a show, and then I heard like after a few more shows he ended up leaving. So we did get to see. I don't know if it was the original lineup, but it included a pretty good. I think it was most.
I think there were three of the original members.
Yeah, 3 of the original members.
3 of the original members, and then they had their additional, for vocal backups and
yeah, exactly.
things like that.
So we did get a chance to see that. So we haven't seen Goblin with. I haven't seen it without Claudio Simonetti, but I do know that there's a few versions out there right now.
Yeah, I mean, I've had the opportunity to see both versions. I drove up to Chicago to see the Claudio Simonetti one because that was. Like you guys said, it was either 4. I could have swore it was 5 years ago, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, it could be.
But in Chicago, it was Claudio Simonetti and his crew, but it had a couple of the original members, like Maurizio, the keyboardist, and I think the guitar player. I forget his name, but anyway, that was really cool. But it was also like, I used to play in a band a while back, and I could feel like, okay, this is really rehearsed. It's really tight. I like it. But then, and the reason why I went to Chicago is because nothing really that cool comes through St. Louis due to like this Missouri law with traveling bands. They tax the shit out of them. Yeah. But with Chicago, I was like, okay, yeah, this is going to be a once in a lifetime thing. And then the following year, it's non-Claudio Simonetti, but all the OG Goblin without him in St. Louis. I was like, holy shit, this is rare. And I watched it, and I'm like, you know what? I kind of, even though Claudio is so essential to Goblin's sound, I think, especially, just the keyboards alone, his style of playing and all that, it was kind of cooler to watch in St. Louis because it seemed more like a jam band or just like these old friends getting together and just like, hey, let's jam out some of our tunes. And they played some rare stuff like off a roller and really cool stuff.
Yeah.
So it was kind of interesting to see both the iterations. But I will say the one with Claudio was that was mind blowing, probably because it was the first time I saw it.
Yeah, it was a cool experience, and the band was really good. Like I'm not sure, I don't know who the other members are, but for my money, Claudio is the, if I need to see any version of Goblin, I want to see the version with him in it, and and obviously I still would go see another version of them, but just seeing him out there was really kind of sells it for you, because he's the one that did most of the songwriting anyways. So
right.
So it was cool, and they did play Roller as well. I thought that was something off Roller. I was really surprised by that, but that was real cool. So no, it was a great time, and I ended up bumping into Jaja Blinks. Our buddy Jared Blinkhorn was there.
Hey.
Got a big hug from him.
Smooch.
And
Well, of course you did.
Just a hug, though, right?
Well, he did. I think he grabbed my ass. I think.
I
Working out, dude.
have to make some
How can he
calls.
resist,
I'll tell you how I can resist. Go back a few, maybe 100 episodes now. I put a ring on that. So
You put a ring on everyone. Apparently,
Well, I didn't
you
know
get mad
that.
when Coop gets a girlfriend.
Let's not talk about that on the air. But I'm not okay with that, even a little. That's not a good thing to do to me, Coop.
So, and I also saw, who else I ran into? Oh, I saw our boy Tony Landry and Andrea Willelannon.
Hey, pal.
Yeah, I got to see, and they were real nice and let us cut in line so we could get good seats.
Cuts back.
Yeah, and then it turns out that they actually couldn't. Like, they cut us in line and they couldn't go in when we did because I guess they were waiting for the person who had the tickets. He was late, so we saved them seats. But turns out that they sat somewhere else because the other guy brought someone with him. So we were originally going to sit with them, but we didn't get a chance to. But still, it was a real good time. I went with T-Dog, and it was a lot of fun. So good times. And
I know Raven Shadow's boyfriend was there. You didn't see him?
I did not. I was hoping to see the Rev, but I didn't see him.
Oh, nice.
But I did see that he was going to be there. So
I had dinner with the Rev the other day. It seems like that
seems like what?
little lusters off the rose. He may not love Raven Shadow as much.
Oh,
That could be fair. I think he kind of ducks away from me.
Yeah.
When we see him.
well, it is a little one-sided.
Yeah.
Why?
It's not reciprocal.
Yeah. I think he's trying to clean up his life, too. And we're not going to do him any favors.
Why are you gonna do that? Why? You don't need that. It's not gonna.
All right, we got some people hanging out in the chat room. We got Matchel of Omaha.
Nice.
Leo.
He says, "Hi, y'all. Excited to have the night free to watch live."
There you go.
And Matchel is, once again, one of the kindest people. He sent us a donation through PayPal. So
Thank you, buddy.
We were his Black
Thanks,
Friday.
dude.
it was a pretty good sum too. So thank you so much, Matt. That's
Thank you, Matt.
super sweet. And he said something nice. Let me actually just pull it up
Wait.
real quick.
Are you
Yeah, go
saying
ahead.
Matt is responsible for us continuing on?
Yes, pretty much.
He's our lifeline.
I thought I liked you, Matt. but-
So he says, "Happy holidays, Trick or Treat Radio crew. Thanks for an amazing 2018. All my best." So thanks so much,
Thank
Matchel.
Thank you.
Most appreciated, buddy. And that money's going right to help recoup for the new PC for the studio. So thank you very much. And we also have Evil Corny says, "For some reason, I imagine Raven Shadow busting through the wall of that dispensary like the Kool-Aid Man."
Oh,
Yeah, man, that's just like fucking
Oh,
a fucking
yeah,
shield
man.
base, man. There's fucking lots of security there, lots of cops.
True.
It's fucking rough.
You gonna get some edibles?
Maybe. I mean, if they do gift cards, that'd be nice.
Why? Wait, whoa. Why would you go wait hours, get a gift card, and then go back and wait hours to use your gift card?
Well, I'm not gonna do that, but I mean, if
Oh, you get the gift card to someone else and make their life a living hell.
Yeah, I was gonna say, hey, here's a gift card, and you gotta wait
Yeah.
2 hours.
Yeah.
Thanks, asshole.
Can we just put this in perspective where it's fucking from? Only one good thing has ever come out of that fucking city.
You?
Me and Tiny White.
So two.
The dead.
So
That's
that's
two
one
things.
thing.
Yeah, no, the Deadites was the one.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm not fucking from there, so don't bring me down, Bruce. But the reality is like they couldn't have picked the fucking. It's like where they filmed Footloose. They couldn't have picked the worst place in
It
the
is a
fucking
weird.
world.
It is a weird place for it. Like not like Worcester.
Yeah.
Would Worcester not allow it?
They put a fucking
Oh my
CVS in there
God.
one time years ago, and
traffic
fucking
would
people
be-
went off the fucking reservation.
if the traffic is hell in Leicester, can you imagine what it'd be like in Worcester? Traffic in Worcester is a bitch as it is.
Yeah, well, Worcester's gonna be gone soon. I've decided.
Yeah, apparently you have.
Yeah,
has
the
to go.
Mazda band's coming.
The marzipan.
Yeah, I'm not fucking happy about fucking Worcester. They're fucking baseball
Worcester?
dummies are demolishing the whole fucking part of the city that's important, just so they can put a fucking field that's perfect.
It'll pop up elsewhere.
It won't pop up
Yeah,
elsewhere.
it
There
will.
is nowhere. That's what everybody says about Worcester, but it won't. It pops up like because it's there because it's there. That's the fucking magic. But now they're fucking cutting it in half. And the best part is they're cutting the fucking successful business part in half and leaving all the VFW halls.
That's great.
Yeah, so like the White Eagle staying, the most legendary rock venue, one of the most legendary rock venues on the East Coast, gone.
Yeah.
So Eagles staying?
Yeah.
It's the other side of the street that's going.
Because those
It's weird.
buildings, and I'll talk about him in a minute, but and probably more next week, I'm sure. But our dear friend Roger LaValle and I spent a couple hours trying to decipher the map, and what we found out with a little research. And for those of you who don't know, they're putting a AAA boring sport team in the middle of our
Speak for
city.
yourself.
Yeah,
It's
whatever.
the Red Sox farm
Yeah,
division.
right.
So
yeah,
it's
so their
the-
AAA team is currently in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, and it's moving up to Worcester in 2020.
Right, which would venture the reason if the Red Sox are boring, the Pawtucket Red Sox would be twice as boring with applesauce. But the
I can't wait.
well, I mean, I'm glad that your happiness comes off the destruction of the best times of my life. So, thank you very much.
It's not like I fucking did it.
Yeah, but you're gonna fucking sit there and not care that it's that.
Of course
it's
I'm going to
fucking-
care. But what am I going to do?
not
Am I
go.
going to sit like where the Lucky Dog used to be and cry my fucking soup?
You should.
It's gonna be a concession stand. You get
Listen.
frozen yogurt over there.
Right. Yeah, listen. I know you're not going to understand because you've never done stuff with things, and I know you'll understand because we were there and we had great times, and I know that you probably vaguely remember being in that building a couple of times.
Aries is going to be pissed. All the stuff that he built is going to be gone.
Right. They're probably fucking that staging he built. They're probably fucking going to use as the foundation for what they're building next. But the reality is that those buildings right now face away from the stadium. So they're tearing all that shit down. That fucking all those bars that aren't the Cove that are super successful right now. The fucking good barbecue place, everything. They're tearing all that down so they can have some fucking whack hotel. I got bad news. There aren't that many people in the city. There are more hotels in that square mile than like everyone in Worcester could stay in those 4 hotels. They don't need any more hotels. No one is fucking driving from anywhere else to see the Pawtucket Red Sox. The fucking people in Rhode Island,
they are.
that ship has sailed. They're not going to be like, oh, well, looks like we got to go to fucking Worcester now. No. They didn't. They went and saw the Pawtucket Red Sox because it was outside their house. That's why they went. Not because it was fucking awesome, because it was there. And what else is in fucking Pawtucket? They don't even have a fucking CVS.
Hasbro.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, great.
That's
You
the
can't-
only thing.
Can't
and
go
literally,
fucking mill around there and steal Transformers, can you?
you can
Month
get your,
Zero stride.
you get your picture taken with Mr. Potato Head.
Yeah.
Hasbro's fucking weird
Although
anyway.
Hasbro might be leaving, apparently. I guess Pawtucket's like trying to save him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hasbro might be.
Yeah.
Hasbro's a fucking bunch of weirdos anyway. They let one of the best artists in the world go.
No,
They
he left on purpose.
They let him go, and then also, yeah, but you don't let him go. You throw a bunch
Yeah,
of
but he
money at
wanted
him.
to leave.
No, you don't do that.
You tase him.
No.
He wanted out of there.
Yeah, but then it doesn't matter because now afterwards he did like fucking all the boxes for all the Transformers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so good work, Hasbro. You fucking jerks. Pawtucket sucks.
Wow.
Pawtucket sucks.
Andy, you picked a good night.
I am so upset.
He is fired up.
The place where my fucking the place I don't know. I did a lot of good things in that building.
You gave a lot of blowjobs.
A few.
Some of his
alleyway
best
will-
work.
yeah.
It's all right.
Some of his best work.
First off, I'll have
Help
you
keep
knew-
the lights on.
Yeah. First off, I probably still can do that. Second of all, I knew 3/4 of those guys' names. Third off, I had some sex with ladies too there, who I knew some of their names too.
Jesus.
But like, it fucking sucks. I played some fucking great times there. Had some awesome times, and saw some great bands too. Saw some incredible bands. So I'm really sad about that. It really sucks. You
yeah,
know?
it does suck.
And like, I mean, I like to go to Ralph's once a year, but
Yeah.
that's about all I can
I don't like
fucking
Ralph's.
muster. Everyone I want to see is fucking like complete assholes standing outside in like 20-degree weather smoking. Like, and they don't ever go into the bar. They just stand outside the fucking bar smoking. Like, I don't, and now I've decided I don't like them either. Any of those people. If you're listening, you're one of those people, you're out of the fucking will, too. You
Jesus.
fucking dumb, cold smokers. At least this dude has the sense to come out of the fucking cold.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'd die, though, if it was like he's not built for anything lower than 20. He's very small.
That's where we're layers.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm so fucking mad. I'm literally almost getting divorced over this.
It does suck.
So,
It
yeah.
sucks.
Put on a sweater and you double your body mass.
There you go.
Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. It is a proven fact that, especially in Boston anyway, that baseball team hasn't done anything good for the odds. So they think because they fucking roll out fucking Pearl Jam once a year, like they think that they're fucking saving the arts in Worcester. But because they were there, because Lansdowne Street got all fucking Red Sox-fied at some point, like, it shut down the two best clubs, in maybe my opinion, ever. And it got turned into a fucking dumb chain. So now, instead of going and seeing great bands at the Strand and, having a good
Strand's
time.
a Providence, buddy.
Not the Strand.
Access
Access
and
and
Avalon.
Avalon, sorry.
Yeah.
Is Strand gone, though? Oh,
No,
Lupos
it's still
is
there.
gone. Yeah,
No,
sorry.
Strand's
Lupos
there.
is
I
gone.
went
But
to
that has
Strand
nothing to
last-
do with baseball.
No.
That just has to do with the mob. That's the difference.
Allegedly.
I like the mob better. Yeah. But the reality is that, those clothes, now you got to go to the fucking House of Blues.
There you go.
Sucks. Seeing Erasure at the House of Blues sucked. Seeing Matt Nathan at the House of Blues sucked.
It's a good venue.
No, it's not.
Are you
it
trying
is.
to blame the Red Sox
Yes, he
because
is.
a
He
chain
is.
nightclub bought two clubs in
Yeah.
Boston?
They had
Yes.
to shut this down, though.
It-
They did. I know. I can't say how I know, but I know.
I can't say. His girlfriend in Canada told
No.
him.
Off the air. I know.
You just don't know my sources. They're not from here.
I know things about stuff.
Oh my God. Can we just
In the
move
same
on?
way I know Raven Shadow runs Trick or Treat Radio.
That's true.
And, same reason I know Aries wishes he had suspenders on. I know things about stuff.
Wishes he had suspenders.
I know. And they had to close because it was fucking Lansdowne Street and it's the Red Sox and a bunch of fucking racists and jerks.
Oh, you know what? I know people too, Mars.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And I heard that theater near us in Westboro is going to reopen.
Well, they offered me a job before it closed, so maybe I can
Not
go back.
not the same people though.
Fucking jerks.
Apparently, the person who I don't know, it was because it was a Regal, right?
Yeah.
So apparently, whoever paid the bills just stopped paying him, and then the landlord came looking for him, and he had like skipped town. So that's why they
Oh,
closed.
Jesus.
That's why it closed down suddenly. But apparently, there's two chains that are vying for the rights to reopen it.
Wow.
Is one of them AMC?
I hope so.
'Cause I'll fucking.
I hope
need-
so.
I
So I
need a-
go to the theater. 10
I need a
minutes from my
little
house.
fucking light in my life. I got fucking assaulted everywhere I go. I was just at Subway on the way here.
You get assaulted at Subway?
I did.
Kevin Lies, people. Fuck you.
The woman goes, "Where's your sister been?" And I'm like, I don't know. At home with
My
Tiny, probably
sister.
fucking miserable. Why? No, she come in with you all the time. I say, that's my wife. That's. And she goes, oh, she's very pretty. So apparently,
I'm sorry, is this news to you that you're dating up? Because it's not, it's
We-
not
we
news
all-
to anyone else.
yeah, but not. I don't think that the fucking lady at Subway should be able to rub it in, right?
I'm sorry. I thought that was generous that she was calling you a sister that could be related to her.
I'll light you right on fire. You're old, you'll burn.
Come on. It's already out. Come on.
Dude's got a fucking thing, a knife out. Like, what's
What the
like-
hell? You gonna stab someone? Jesus, Aries.
I'm trying to fix my finger.
Fixed my finger with a knife.
We're sorry, Andy.
Picked a hell
I
of a
just don't
knife.
know who's gonna get stabbed or burned, but
Why are you poking that black thing on your
I am
finger?
glad I'm not there.
Yeah, what is that?
Yeah, what are you doing?
I'm trying to get rid of my blister.
Yeah,
Oh my God!
Don't get that on.
Do you cut?
anyone.
Do you cut skin tags too?
Yeah.
No, the blister's
I do
old
that,
now.
though.
Do you
It's
cut ass
hard.
flaps?
Yeah, MZ could use some fucking surgery over here.
Yeah, can you get that?
Jesus.
It's gonna get infected.
It's not. It's old.
It's not.
Yeah, you should pour some of the whiskey on that.
Light it on fire.
Yeah.
Cut it and then pour the whiskey and then light it on fire.
Yeah,
There you go.
there you
That's
go.
what you need to do.
Oh my God, that's so gross.
What?
You are hacking your finger.
What the fuck are you doing?
Will you guys
Aries,
leave
we're
him
doing
alone?
a show.
Is this Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Yeah.
It really is.
Wasn't bothering anyone
blood's,
before.
blood's gonna squirt in Raven Shadow's face.
Yeah,
He's cover his glasses.
Fucking the bloodletting episode of Trick or Treat Radio.
Raven Shadow, take that knife away and carve your name, Raven Shadow and Monster Zero forever.
Yes, on the other desk, like
Yeah.
that scene in Some Kind of Wonderful.
Right in the back of Treebeard there.
Oh my god.
Tree beard.
Man, I can't believe the Lucky Dog building's gonna be gone.
All right. Well, you can lament it all later if you want.
Sweet
I'm gonna
Caroline.
lament it forever. Yeah, Sweet Caroline, you wait.
So-
You think I'm kidding, but I have no reason to live anymore.
No, I know
I'm
you're
fucking-
upset. I know you're
And
upset.
if it's your car, I fucking drive in there on fire on opening day. Then don't be mad at me because I
Opening
warned
day.
you.
I know you're offended. I know you're outraged.
Yeah, fucking the
So-
paw saw. It's not even real baseball. It's
it
a
is?
fucking no. It's
Yes,
not.
it is.
It's like
That
fucking
is.
no. It's not.
Sure it is.
No.
AAA is
I go
fucking
to the
real
games.
baseball.
Yeah, I go to
No,
the games all the time.
Yeah, well,
me and
thanks.
MZ
Great.
are-
That's
ma-
a big endorsement.
MZ, maybe we can get season tickets.
You go to Walmart all the time too. Is that a
There we
fucking
go.
real independent venue?
No.
Dick.
Matthew of Omaha says, "Love you, dudes. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
We love you too, man." Evil Corny says that Subway will be assaulting Mars' stomach in a bit.
No, that Subway's right after I get out of fucking the Paw Sox field. That Subway. What's next?
It'd be the Woo Sox.
Yeah, well, no, it's fucking. They changed the Woo Sox. That's even worse. Now I'm mad.
Yeah,
Fucking
but when
mad.
the stadium's built, you could kick around third base and lament about the time when you used to give the best blowjobs when this place used
Yeah.
to be
From somebody who's
used to be the Lucky Dog.
from
Back
somebody.
in my day,
Considering you've never even got a blow.
I was the meanest gums around.
This is where I blew Tiny.
No. He'll hear you and he'll kill you and fucking.
He won't hear this.
He'll fucking kick you and maple syrup will fly everywhere. Fucking Jabba the Hutt like monstrosity. You know what? Hopefully the fucking seats are still cheap because your fat ass can't make it to an upper deck instead of a fucking gondola to take you to the third row.
Hey, the prices of tickets are so low, I don't need to do that.
They're gonna be expensive.
Stupid
Oh,
asshole.
no, they're going to be
not gonna
expensive
They
when
have
it
to
opens.
pay off a new fucking
They're gonna
stadium.
price out the white trash like you that used to fill up the fucking Pawtucket one.
No, I
And
don't. I
then-
don't doubt it. I mean, the $10 parking is going to turn into $25 parking. You know, it's going to be a problem.
It's already $25 parking, and there's not even a shitty baseball team there.
It's only $10 parking there.
Well, he's talking about Pawtucket.
I'm talking about Pawtucket.
no, I mean in Worcester.
In Worcester, it's going to be like 25.
Yeah, it already
It's gonna be
is.
ridiculous.
Where are you parking in Worcester for $25?
At the $25 lot, duh. With me and the fucking juggalos.
Christ, you can park on the sidewalk at the Centrum for under $25.
No, I can't do that.
By
I'm
the
not
way,
even supposed to be driving, so I have to keep it on the DL in my zip car.
By the way, I heard on Andy's last episode, he was talking about, I guess, you watched the documentary of Kane Hodder, and apparently he's a big juggalo, Andy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Kane Hodder is a juggalo?
Apparently, yeah.
Oh, God.
Dude,
No.
I think he loves Twisted more than ICP, but
Yeah,
yeah,
they're in
Twisted
his
shows
show.
up in the documentary.
I love that documentary, though. I was surprised at how much I
No,
loved
I
it.
haven't
it's
seen
a
it
good
yet.
documentary.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. It's and you said it was on Prime, right, Andy?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
What was the name of it again? Something to.
To Hell and Back,
To Hell and
the
Back,
Kane
yeah.
Hodder stuff.
Yeah. Now I don't know what I'm going to call my autobiography, but whatever, Kane. But it was good.
Something about blowing dudes in alleys.
Whatever. You know what? You can make fun of that because you've probably had a blowjob. Monster Zero hasn't had a blowjob unless he's very flexible.
Go back to yoga.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's a good reason. How's your back doing, MZ, by the way?
Doing good. Although when I left the house this morning, I slipped on some ice.
Jesus Christ.
Just quit. Just go on disability. They believe you.
Did you re-injure it, or did it like act up?
No. It wasn't hurting after that, but when I was on my feet for a couple of hours working at work, it started to.
Are you back like doing full force work now?
I'll be back Friday.
Ugh.
No, I want to get back to work. I'm tired of
Light labor.
Yeah, light labor, making 60%. It sucks.
Really? They can only charge you there. That's fucking bullshit.
Oh, you're making 60% of your money?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Ooh.
But you got hurt at work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They should
Yeah.
be paying you
That's
more.
not how that-
Yeah. Wait,
not working
something's
at
wrong
all.
here.
That's not how that works.
Yeah, like your contract is fucking bad. You need a better agent. Isn't that
I'll
place-
sign you then.
Isn't that place union?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah, so you were working at a non-union warehouse?
I've always worked at a non-union
Well,
warehouse.
I guess it's, a quality is a thing, but
That's fucked up, dude.
Well, I'm heading back Friday, so
I almost fell off a ladder today getting a really expensive Optimus Prime.
Was it the $100
How's that
one?
make
The
you feel?
$100 one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, how's that make you feel?
Was it G1? It wasn't that Beast Wars shit, right?
No, it was like a fucking, like a new thing. It's like it was on near the Gundams, whatever those are.
Oh, the masterpieces. I got it. I got
Yeah.
myself that.
Right.
It's nice.
Did you almost fall to your death getting it though? I asked today if I fall and get hurt, do I get to keep what I'm holding?
Hey, let's talk to our guest.
Oh, hi. Oh, hey.
Sorry about that, man. We had a little derailment.
Yeah. Let's talk to Andy some more.
What were you guys talking about before the show started? What Andy had said he was giving you props, MZ, for a movie. What movie was that?
Oh, House on the Edge of the Park.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that one. 'Cause I thought he was talking something worse. Yeah.
No, we were. I mean, we started going on our Ortolani appreciation tangent. I mean, that score for that movie and that movie in general. I mean, I know I said it before the show, but I think for all the fans that love Last House on the Left and never seen House on the Edge of the Park, do yourself a favor, go get the Code Red Blu-ray release and watch that shit, because it is. I think there's a lot more to say in that movie than Last House on the Left. Because let's be honest, like, as much as I like Last House on the Left, it is a ripoff of Virgin Spring.
Right. I don't really like.
Oh, sure.
Is this a hot take? I'm not even sure because I don't get to talk to people that like movies all the time without getting.
You're not sitting in a room with them?
Don't get me started, Andy. Don't get me started. But I don't really like Last House on the Left at all.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's like it's one that I like aspects of it. Well, number one, it's kind of hard to say I like Last House on the Left. Then you always get those looks. Yeah. You know, the looks that Mars always gets all the time. But
At Subway?
Yeah, at Subway.
Yeah, at Subway. But yeah, I mean, it's like Last House on the Left is it's pretty integral to like grindhouse and exploitation cinema, and then you can blow people's minds by telling them like Wes Craven used to be a porn director, and that's always fun.
Yeah.
Which apparently, I think Vinegar Syndrome. I know you guys were gonna try to get Brandon on, I think a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
But I think they're gonna put some Wes Craven porn out.
Nice.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
MZ, you gotta love that.
Like porn he made or porn with him
Well,
in it?
yeah, one he allegedly made. I don't know how public they're gonna be with it, but that's the rumor. That's the word around the campfire. But the Last House on the Left. I mean, number one, David Hess is probably the MVP of that movie, and the best thing about it is like, oh yeah, if you like David Hess and Last House on the Left, he's pretty much doing the same thing in House on the Edge of the Park. But House on the Edge of the Park has better music. It's more thought out. It's a commentary about society and like social classes.
Right.
There's just so much to that movie.
It's
that
so sleazy.
Yeah, and it is very sleazy.
It's
and you got
so
Giovanni
sleazy.
Radici.
Oh,
Yeah,
your boy.
Yeah, Giovanni.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
yeah, Giovanni and I have a history.
Tell him.
It's well documented on the show.
Yeah.
Do you know about the history, by the way, Andy?
I've
can
heard
refresh.
about the history.
Okay.
MZ, you aren't the only one.
Oh.
Not me, but a good friend of mine.
Oh, you're not
same
special.
thing.
You're not special anymore, MZ.
Ah, damn.
That was like your one claim to fame.
I know.
That one person in the whole world found you
Yeah, I
attractive.
think he's probably got one in per every convention or city.
Now you're my third most handsomest fan.
Yeah. Yeah, you were his most handsome fan, but I don't know.
right.
Maybe he says that to other people.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to have a talk with him.
I can't believe that you didn't seal that deal, though. It still bothers me to that day.
That what?
You didn't seal that deal.
Oh, well, I'm not going to.
If my favorite actor wanted to fuck me, I would get.
I know that. We all know that.
Well, yeah. I'd make him wear the fucking scorpion jacket, but
We all know your history with yourself and Ryan. Okay, we all know it.
Gods.
but yeah, I mean, I don't know. You should do it anyway. What do you like? You're gonna die at some point. Like,
No.
what are you gonna say to? What are you gonna fucking? You have no claim to fame.
No, I'm not doing it.
I'm not doing it.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna fuck him.
You'll do it.
I'm not gonna fuck him, and you can't make me. So there.
Wow. On that note, let me catch up on the chat, and then we're going to head to break in just a moment here. Cromcast Josh is hanging out. He says, "Evening, y'all.
Evening.
First thing I heard when I tuned in was ass flaps. Glad all is proceeding as normal."
Why does everybody tune in when the phrase ass flaps gets said?
Why do you have a fucking ass flap mutant?
And now we
Called
have
now.
5 new listeners.
Yeah. That would be, if MZ were in the movie Molly, that would be his character's name, Ass
Yeah, Ass
Flaps.
Flap.
Yeah.
With 2 Z's.
As Flap.
One of it's
Or as flat, or ass
Flaps.
flaps. Yeah. Oh man. All right, so we'll start to wrap things up here. We'll head to a break and start talking about Molly. So if you guys, I did mention ways you could support the show, but you can once again head to trickortreatradio.com, use the Amazon link. Just scroll down, you find the logo, click on it, and it just automatically puts our affiliate link in there. Everything you purchase in that session gets attributed to us. It doesn't cost them any extra, Raven Shadow.
But it helps keep the lights on.
And it helps pay for the new studio computer.
New ass flaps.
New ass flaps.
How excited was Raven Shadow when he found out we were doing Molly?
Yeah.
Did he like misunderstand?
Yeah, I thought it was something else.
Yeah.
It was like, good. I don't have to wait in this 2-hour line anymore.
I was going to have to call my guy and watch, more YouTube videos for a while.
Yeah.
But it'd be nice.
So, and once again, if you do, obviously holidays are coming up. So if you're doing some holiday shopping, use our Amazon link. And once again, we have the store. Click on store on trickortreatradio.com. Buy some stuff there. We got some digital content. Trick or Treat Radio Greatest Hits Volumes 1 through 3. Maybe we will try to get 4 out soon. I know we've been talking about it. So we'll get on the ball and get 4 out there. And also we have the Amazon store. If you go to Amazon.com/shop/The Deadites. And I just added Molly up on there right now. So if you guys want to, if you're interested in the film Molly, go ahead and you can purchase it right on our store. And that,
If you're interested in Molly, talk to Raven Shadow.
yeah.
Private message me. I know a guy.
And is that Mars is throwing his phone around. I think that's it. So Raven Shadow, you sit down to watch Molly. Not we're not talking about drugs here.
Yeah, well, but
We're talking about a movie.
you're not talking about
Oh,
drugs,
you
Johnny.
just lost,
To watch Molly, on Molly,
Yeah, on Molly.
That's very meta.
Yeah, it
with
is.
Molly.
Yeah.
So you sit down to watch this movie.
Yeah.
What do you do to prepare?
I'm fucking tired, Johnny. I've been watching a lot of movies already. You know what I mean? Kind of my movie quotient's done.
Well, get ready for December.
Ah, fuck.
Yeah.
I even threw on some old Kids in the Hall DVDs.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, old
Love
school
that
ones.
shit.
Yeah, it was nice. Watched a little bit of a movie called Pool Hall Junkies, which I adored. That has Michael Rosenbaum. He makes me smile. Yeah. I like Christopher Walken. I like that movie. You see that, Maz?
Yeah, nope.
Oh.
I think you made it up. I'm just.
No, it's good. Michael Rosenbaum has hair.
Is this going somewhere?
I like Michael Rosenbaum a lot. He was the
Okay,
Flash.
I got it.
He was the Flash.
He was the TV's voice of the Flash.
Yep.
And then there was a great episode where the Flash and the Kurgan as Lex Luthor, they switched bodies.
Wait, Kurgan from WWE?
No, the real Kurgan, the last Kurgan. Who's the one from the Highlander Kurgan?
Oh, so yeah, it was
Clancy Brown.
Clancy Brown. Yeah.
Who was
So
on Lex Luthor on the.
on the Justice League show, and they switched bodies. And then so Michael Rosenbaum was doing a Clancy Brown impression, and then
I don't
Clancy
even know what
Brown
part of the show this is.
was doing
the fuck is even going
Michael
on
Rosenbaum impression. You saw that, right? You did that in Missouri.
Did
Justice
you
League
forget?
cartoons?
This is just a.
You know what's funny? The best thing about Clancy Brown, somebody was talking about Clancy Brown the other day. I'm like, you want to know how great of an actor this guy is? Watch Pet Sematary 2 and watch him carry the whole fucking movie.
Fucking A right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You saying Eddie Furlong couldn't cut that
No, and that's coming from somebody that loves Brain Scan a lot. so-
Nice, yeah. Us
Oh,
too.
we love
Us
Brain
too.
Scan. Yeah.
But no, I agree. I have to think about Clancy Brown in Pet Sematary too, when he's killing the rabbits.
Fuck is going on? I would love to be in your mind for
You
like
know what,
for
sorry.
like 10 minutes.
I am on fucking Molly. Strap on, Johnny.
Do you love to dance? The Big Scary Monster Haunts at Midnight is a collection of dark songs about sex, love, death, revenge, and the end of the world. Brought to you by the world's greatest monster hunting electroshock band, the Deadites. Available on iTunes, Google Music, Amazon, CD Baby, and all other digital distribution sites.
Hey there, this is R.A. Salvatore, call me Bob, and you're listening to Trick or Treat Radio.
Hello, everyone. It's me, Jason Voorhees. You want to keep up to date with the world's greatest monster hunting, electroshock, world-saving superheroes there are? Well, me, I could care less for those sons of a bitches. But if you want to, go to Twitter, @TheDeadites. For Michael Ravenshadow, that's the A in the half parentheses. @TheDeadites. Keep up to date with tour dates. Sorry. Upcoming shows. Oh my goodness. New releases. Hot dates. Alright, anyway, I'm sorry. @TheDeadites on Twitter. Follow everything about the Deadites at Trick or Treat Radio, which admittedly is not a whole hell of a lot.
Thank you guys for having me on. It's a blast. You guys are awesome.
Thank you so much.
And, Trick or Treat Radio, man. That's where it's at. That's the new Fangoria Radio is Trick or Treat Radio.
Oh,
Don't say that.
You really put us under.
It's like swearing in church. Huh?
You
Don't-
just jinxed us.
Yeah. you put a lot on our shoulders just now.
Well, we can strive for
You
greatness.
guys are awesome.
Yeah,
you really
just
are. You got
say
a
that again
great show.
slowly.
All right, we're back on Trick or Treat Radio.
Hey, hello, everybody, baby.
And we're going to talk about a movie in just a moment here. Let me get all the stats up here. So, Molly. This film hit festivals in 2017, and it hit VOD and Blu-ray DVD or just in September, I believe, at least VOD, and it's now on Blu-ray, DVD, digital, so you can pretty much watch it any format. Film is rated PG-13, 91 minutes. It's an action sci-fi film, and it is directed by Colinda Bongers and Thies Muis, I believe is maybe how you pronounce that. And it is written by Thies Muis. Probably butchering that name. Not so good with the Dutch names. And the film stars Julia Batalon.
You're very good with the Dutch rudders, though. So I'm told.
So you're told, yeah.
Oh, should I have
Emma De Pauw, Joost Bolt, Annelies Appelhoff, Andre Dongelmans, and Arnos Kraus. And the synopsis: A girl living alone in a post-apocalyptic wasteland finds herself hunted down by marauders who want her to fight in their fighting pit for their entertainment. So, Molly, one thing I will say is from, like I said, it's from the Netherlands, so it's a Dutch film, and it was in English. You're welcome, Aries.
Oh, thank you.
Not that I had anything to do with that, but
It's 91 minutes long.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
1 minute over the mark.
You must have fucking loved it.
Well, so far it passes 2 of his criteria. So
yes, it does.
2 for 2 right now.
So this is an interesting one because a lot of times, I mean, at least the artsploitation films that we've seen, I wouldn't say they're all horror, but they all sort of live in that sort of world where they could be considered horror. And, they do step outside from time to time. I think they did Deer Bunker, which was a comedy. And they've done some other stuff here. But to my knowledge, this might be the first sort of straight up action sci-fi film that they've done. Which it's interesting they sort of have expanded a little bit to, just step outside and try some different stuff, because I thought this was certainly an interesting film, and it's cool to, kind of have it out there so that more people can see it. I don't know if other distribution companies were vying for this or not, but who knows? But
hey, wait a second.
Yeah.
Does that mean that? Are you trying to tell me that they did a German All in the Family?
I haven't seen Der Bunker. Have you seen it, Andy, by chance?
All in the Fuhrer.
No, I got the Blu-ray. I haven't had a chance. I did see Der Samurai.
Oh, I
did
love
you guys
that.
check
Yeah.
that one out?
Yeah, I like it.
We love that one. Yeah.
That was also put out by them.
Yeah.
I'm so happy you crack yourself up.
I know.
Right now.
You're gonna kill yourself. You're gonna pass out. Jesus Christ.
I'm glad I made Mars and MZ smile.
Hey, actually, huh?
Whoa. What language is that?
It's the schnell, the meathead.
Die Scheiße, oder die.
Okay, that was like German gibberish.
Wie geht's in der Halle morgen?
What the fuck? A big morgen. It's scheiße again, there, little girl.
Wow, what is going on?
Ubermensch.
What does that mean, Raven Shadow?
Superman. Gott in Himmel edith.
It's this Glasser Jones with the colors there.
Elsa.
What? Oh, all right. Jesus Christ.
Woman.
Oh, man.
All right. Let's consolidate. Let's
consolidate.
let's contain ourselves and let's get
Going
back
out
into
of
this.
business, guys. Let's consolidate.
Let's consolidate.
I don't know. I'm losing my mind here.
Losing?
What are we going to call that? We need to talk about Trick or Treat Radio? Like,
Yeah.
all right.
All right.
And if that's the case, which Wolfie Andy's my new boss. And if that's the case, well, why don't you tell me if I could please leave now?
I think Andy should be your boss. Oh, shit. Woo! That might be the episode title. We could talk about Trick or Treat Radio. I don't know if we could use that as a title, Raven Shadow.
Let's consolidate.
I misspoke.
Yeah.
All right.
You mean for a change?
Yeah, what else is new?
You are the king of the mixed metaphor.
Yeah.
Lightning in a barrel.
When you grab a snake.
When you grab a snake with a tail, you got him by the
I
balls.
tip my hand to you.
You can lead a give toss to water, but you can't look at his mouth.
Quit the show. The good news is you guys will not be affiliated with me by the time I start to commit acts of local sports terrorism.
Oh, so it's win-win for everybody.
Right.
Well, now it's out there, Mars. Like, now there's evidence out there.
Yeah, I'm gonna run out and steal third base for real. Just run out the field. You know what's crazy is I'll be honest.
Yeah.
When you presented Andy with the list.
Yeah.
Because of the amount of times we dodged a bullet and something about the poster, I was like, please not Molly, please not. Molly,
Why?
please not Molly. I just didn't. I don't know. Like it's been. Like there's a fucking movie out that I didn't know was out by like one of our favorite directors. Like I was like, come on, I just wanted to get it in the fucking, because I could go any day. Let's be honest. So like
For those keeping
one's
track of the
arguing
Trick or Treat Radio death pool.
yeah, like I didn't like I you know, I am convinced I only survived cancer, so something worse can happen. But yeah, like
Jesus Christ.
but the reality is that like I just wasn't fucking interested, and I'm so fucking happy that
What's your problem with the poster art?
I didn't dig it. It just didn't
this
look.
one here.
I actually love the poster.
The poster art is amazing.
Yeah, I don't know.
I love it.
I mean, I know this is the most I've seen of it. Just seeing it as a thing on the, I just wasn't too interested. I don't know.
It's a busy poster, that's for certain.
I will say the dude with the top hat does not give you high expectations.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I would say he was one of my least favorite parts of the movie. I'll
Yeah.
say that. So one thing I will say, so I don't know what the budget of this film was, but it was a very low budget film.
You know what's funny? I think somebody said it's a low budget, and they kept harping on it, and it's like $350,000. I'm like, that's not that low.
Yeah, that is
Yeah, but
true.
is that Dutch dollars or is that?
Yeah.
What's the
Dutch
conversion rate on that, guys?
Dutch bucks.
dollars
bucks.
dollars to Dutch dollars.
I can't do it
Is
anymore.
everything a goddamn joke? I'm being serious.
Is that
here.
Well, then stop saying Dutch dollars.
I only said it one time.
that's where that famous song came from, right? Pass the money around, pass the Dutchie on the left hand side. That's from that Monster Zero. Tell your friends at work where they're fucking paying you 40% to work hurt.
What the fuck are we?
Oh my god.
wait, sorry. Andy was talking about the budget. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I still don't know what the hell it was, but I could have swore somebody said it, and it seemed like a pretty decent budget, even if it was like 50,000. I think that's not too bad of a budget, to be honest.
Yeah.
The film, I mean, it's made on those Blackmagic pocket cameras. I don't know if you guys know about those, but those are pretty. They're pretty consumer. They're like $1,000, I think, and they can get pricey once you add the lenses and stuff. But yeah, I mean, you could tell that this is pretty low budget, but there's a lot of craft behind it.
Absolutely, and I guess I'll talk about it now. I was going to wait a bit, but I don't want to forget it. The one thing I was super impressed. So I'll just flat out say that I thought this was a pretty cool movie, and what was most impressive though was the finale, the third act. It was a 32-minute uninterrupted take. One take.
What was it?
Yeah.
Because there were times
when
where
she
I thought
got
they could
when
have
she got
had
into the
edits.
oil rig, it was one.
There's a couple of hidden edits, but
Yeah, I was going to
it's
say.
it's
thought
all
they were-
mainly one shot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that you could. I mean, even that thing in Halloween, right, which seems very basic comparatively,
Right.
that wasn't even one shot,
Well, I mean, not taking away the fact that was an amazing shot scene, but there were some scenes where I was like, that could have been an edit. Like they seem to have passed through a
yeah.
wall.
I think
Like go through a wall or open a door or go through a curtain.
Now, I don't know, obviously there's always, you can do some trickery, but the one thing I did read was that it was one continuous.
It was not. I found them distracting, to be honest. The cuts, yeah. I mean,
I actually watched it with that in mind, and I didn't necessarily. There were times where they could have cut, but to me, I thought that it was one continuous take. So, but that's not going to make or break the film. It just was a really cool thing that they even attempted that, I think, and it's a tough thing to do. I mean, we let's see, was it running time? Was that the
Running
Bruce
Time
Campbell?
did it.
Yeah.
Rope.
Yep. There's very few films, and it's actually not. They don't do
There's
it because
another
it's
one,
fucking
too. I can't remember
stupid.
the name of it.
Like
Rope's
Yeah.
like a play, though. That's you almost can't.
There's a film called Victoria that you can check out on Netflix in the U.S.
Yep.
That's a one-shotter as well.
okay,
I thought there was another one out there. Yeah.
yeah, it's a very difficult thing, and I certainly it's impressive when you can do it for even like a 32 minutes like this, and if they did do cuts, that's fine. I imagine what they did was they probably did several takes of it, and then maybe took the best of each, and then
Yeah.
maybe did. So in a way, it was continuous.
Yeah, it's just a matter of really clever editing.
Yeah, but
Right.
it still was pretty impressive to me, seeing that. And and despite its budget constraints, I mean, obviously, like Andy said, if this was $350,000, that is a pretty good amount of money. I mean, especially when we think back when, if you guys remember when Carando told us how much he made Gun Woman for, I think he said, was it 90,000, 80,000, or 90,000?
Oh wow!
And that's damn impressive for the film. And so if if he can make that, I know the other folks can do it, but 350,000 is pretty
Not
low
much.
nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
But it is possible if you're economical and you have a very tight shoot, and I could totally see that. But having said all that, I think that they did use the budget constraints in really creative ways in this, where it didn't really make the film lesser. Like I thought that they really played into the budget constraints and did some some sort of economical smart things with it, which I thought was cool. And it's funny. So when the baddie, the antagonist first appears, the guy with the top hat. I know it's Dutch, and I know this person is also Dutch, but I couldn't get out of my head Mars. And I don't know if you thought this, but he sounded like Bassarutin.
Yep.
And all I could think of was fucking Bassarutin.
I was waiting for to be honest.
Danga da danga da dang.
Well, not only did he sound like Bass, he was essentially commentating fights. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Come at me with the bottle.
Don't you do that to me. I don't know if any of you guys have if you guys have seen it. Have you seen the Bassarutin self-defense video?
I have.
Oh, didn't we watch it?
Yeah. I think we did it before, maybe while the show was on.
Oh,
but
that's the fucking best thing ever.
it's amazing. It's like an hour long, and it's just him beating the fuck out of people.
Yeah, send me that.
It's on the Plex.
Is it really?
Yeah. So we have some interesting characters. The performances I thought were fairly good. I did like the lead who played Molly, though. I thought that she was real good. Julia Batalon.
Yeah, she was good.
Yeah, I thought she was good. And I guess I'll say that there was a lot of action in this and a lot of fights, and the choreography was okay.
Yeah, I think it got better, but I think some of the early stuff in the sand.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah.
Was choppy.
The opening choreographic was awful.
Yeah,
was atrocious. It did
the opening
improve.
choreographic.
What is this, National Choreographic?
Is that a new porno?
Yeah, I was just saying
That's Wes Craven.
Choreographic.
I liked it.
I thought the opening scene was atrocious. It did improve from there.
And even some the way she held the bow and arrow. I mean, I'm no fucking Green Arrow, sir, but I mean, it just seemed like
You wish.
I do. I prefer Hawkeye.
I'm no Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, but
Hey, I'm no Agnes or whatever her name is from the Hunger Games, right? Agnes.
Is it Katniss?
at least he didn't say Daryl from Walking Dead.
True.
I know. All I know is I just created the best thing ever. So you can say whatever stupid shit you want to say.
But by the way, Matchel of Omaha says Dutch dollars have Ed O'Neill on them.
There you go, Matchel.
Oh, we need that Photoshop. If someone is enterprising and wants to do a Photoshop,
Yo,
Dutch dollars.
The choreography
it was
The
good.
choreographic.
Yeah, but see,
was absolutely terrible.
I wouldn't say terrible.
What do you-
I would.
yeah,
I
well,
would.
Yeah, but you're an idiot. So.
I kind of agree with that, and I kind of don't.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: throughout the movie, I don't know if they shot this thing in sequence, but it definitely kind of feels like it because I think that beach scene, number one, you have fight choreography that's a little clumsy, and they're kind of missing those hits to really sell the strikes and the hits and all that. But also, you can tell, and maybe this is what I kind of like about the film too, is that you can see the stitching on the filmmaking, meaning that I can tell they're working with a gimbal in the sand, which probably is not the easiest thing because the sand, you keep sinking in it. But
Right.
there's definitely some jittery images. I wish they would have just said, hey, let's not do a gimbal, let's do a crane or something like that. But they obviously wanted to set the tone at the beginning to kind of have a one shot sort of thing. And obviously I think that pays off at the end because by the end, those last 32 minutes, especially when the camera kind of like, I know I'm jumping ahead, but when it flips to the like upside down, that was really well
Incredible,
done.
yeah. It's also like one thing that I don't know if anybody noticed, but her fighting and her abilities, we'll say in general, those were like 3 scrubs, right? Like her power, her ability seemed to be that she was able to defend herself to the level of the people that she was battling. So sometimes she would have to, like, sometime like in a later fight, like she would have to take some blows and then take everybody out. Like that's without like, any of her like anime prestidigitation there. Which, by the way, I do feel like this whole film was like kind of like sort of like, I don't. I keep wanting to use the wrong word. I want to use based upon, but that's not what I'm looking for. Like
inspired by.
Yeah, like like the like 90s anime.
I could see that, sort of the Children of Akira or something like that.
Yeah,
maybe.
well, Akira and like Fist of the North Star and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I mean, people literally just wandered around and had reasons to have fights for the length of an episode.
Yeah,
but, I mean, like, and even her abilities, if you will, she couldn't call upon them all the time.
Right, it seemed
they
like they
happened
surprised
when she
her.
needed her. So I think that part of that fight, even though it might have been contextual on paper, might have seemed to come across better, might have just been that she like these people's incompetence, she was like fighting to like their level, like because the next fight like was a much better fight, So I think it's interesting, like that.
Yeah, some of them were certainly better, and I do agree that I think it all, and it is interesting, Andy, that you had mentioned that you wonder if it's shot in sequence, because I do agree. I think that the film just gets better and better in terms of the choreography, and in terms of just the skill of the filmmakers. Like there's a lot that just seems like it gets better and better as you go, and I wasn't quite, like I was pretty bought in early on. Like I like the setting. There's an interesting way, like I don't know if it's like obviously it's post-production, but like a film wash or whatever they did to it had this sort of ethereal sort of look to it, which I think really added to it, and it almost felt like you said, Mars, if it was anime inspired, I almost feel like they were going for almost like the way that the images on screen were rendered were almost supposed, like it almost feels like they were going for that in a way,
Yeah.
where things were just really sort of bloomy and like blown out a little bit.
And kind of video gamey too, like like some of the stuff like reminded me of like video game cutscenes almost,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the interesting things about this movie is like when you think post-apocalyptic, it's always kind of dark and dreary and drab, and I know this movie, when it was kind of making the festival round, some people were saying, "Oh, it's like the new Turbo Kid," and I don't know if I agree with that. It's like if anything, it's Turbo Kid without the charm.
I'll agree. Yeah.
But I mean, plot-wise, it's pretty identical. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting how they handled the cinematography of it. They blew out the images. It's very bright, which is something that you normally wouldn't see with the post-apocalyptic. I can't talk. Fuck it. It's all over. Post-apocalyptic genre.
Yeah.
I was impressed that there was essentially she was almost fully nude in a fight scene, and they didn't show any nudity.
Yeah.
Of course.
Well, that's credit to the camera work.
Well, I mean, well, fuck them because I was pissed off. But no, it was classy.
There was very slight. I mean, if you.
Well, she wasn't actually naked.
I mean,
she was topless.
She was topless.
No, she had a. If you looked at one scene, one of the ways they shot it, she had a thing tied around the
What'd you
back
do?
of her
Pause
neck.
it?
No, I
Like
just my
microscopic
TV wasn't fucking too dark, or the fucking audio was down, or any of the fucking weird problems that you have every single week.
Johnny, bring that up. I'm fascinated.
I think she was topless.
Yeah, she was top. She was just wearing her underwear in that scene.
Yeah.
I think she had a thing around her neck.
I
This
mean,
is
maybe
gonna be-
she did just for the actress, right?
Yeah, it could be
Maybe
possible.
not for the story.
Yeah, might
I
have
don't
got
know.
caught up. Yeah, I know because
If you want, I'll study the images.
Thank you,
which
sir.
sounds really creepy.
Professional.
I mean, I think the lead character, I think the titular character of Molly, she had a really good look. You know, like
Sorry, I didn't miss that.
had a really good look, and you know, like something out of an anime or something out of a comic book. So I mean, I don't know the history of this movie. I don't know anything about its origins or anything like that. So, I mean, she had a really good look, man. But
Yeah.
And what I also liked was the very, very, very beginning, where, and you never see this in post-apocalyptic films, where, and even for the smallest amount of time, you get to see what the world looked like before.
Yeah, it was
Before
it was a
all
real-
hell went loose.
Yeah,
broke loose.
It was cool. It just was like a
It was like a
quick
3
time
or 4
lapse
second
or, yeah.
shot. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, cool. I appreciate
And,
that.
and honestly, like that was one of the cool sort of like budgetary things. Like the world was once nice and now it's not. You know,
Yeah.
it just was something like a shorthand that you could do real quick to just
and
sort
they
of
use-
have an impact.
Yeah, and they use a lot of, and they use filters and certain camera tricks to make it look like that from the same shot. So that was impressive. The acting though is really amateurish.
Well,
It's-
sure.
I mean,
it's-
there was a time. I mean, I'm watching this movie and I'm looking at it. I'm saying, okay, this is an action sci-fi film. I'm thinking this has got to be an unintentional comedy.
was it
because
totally lost on your broken brain? That
Oh, will
this
you
wasn't
knock
their
your
first
shit
language?
off, you fat bald prick?
Well, you just looked in the mirror, but that wasn't their first language. They were speaking English, right?
What does that have to do with anything?
They're Dutch people, you stupid asshole.
What does
It has
that
a lot
have to
do
do
with
with
anything.
anything?
They might not have actually known English.
What are you talking about?
It's pretty cut and dry, actually.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
I think it's coming over clear.
Yeah.
They're from the Netherlands.
Yeah.
So English is not their first language. No. So maybe they don't
Okay.
act as well when they're speaking in English. That's what he's saying. Just
Well,
to lay it out
however-
for you.
Well, then there's a problem.
Yeah.
Get
Hold
English
on,
people,
though,
okay?
but to MZ's kind of argument there is like some of these actors feel like theatrical actors, right? Because and not in the good sense, like they're overacting or over enunciating on some of their words.
I felt that none of them were actors at all. To be perfectly honest with you, I mean,
Not
this
even
movie
Molly?
feels like this movie feels like they just grabbed a bunch of people off the street.
I mean, the language aside, the translation or whatever else, it felt like someone handed a college student big blockbuster money and said, "Make a movie."
You don't think that it sounded dubbed a little, like like an anime?
I'm saying language aside,
Okay.
just the general feel of it, the physical acting of it.
Yeah, the physical acting, the choreography, and the fight
the
scenes were
choreography, or
terrible.
just general movement of people.
Yeah, it was terrible. The acting was horrible. I thought, that little kid, whatever her name was, I mean, she was just dreadful.
How many people would have had to get raped for you to like this movie? Let's get that over.
5.
Oh, wow.
The scene where she ties a rope to the arrows, that whole scene,
Oh, yeah.
that was
I like that scene.
awful.
No, sorry. No.
I thought that scene was awful.
Just the choreography in this movie just killed me. It was just terrible. It never and it got better only slightly. People were still missing their marks. They were overacting. I mean,
Let's pull up one of your films.
They were really selling
Wait.
shots.
Yeah.
I mean on
No
a
bone
WC,
sickness.
they were really selling shots on a WCW type level.
Let's pull up Blood Pigs.
Yeah.
Excuse me. That is a extremely low budget to no
Right.
budget film, and my acting. I'm not an actor, okay? These
You're
people
barely
are
a person.
and I could
became
barely pull
desperate.
that off.
I'm eating roast beef.
Just knock that shit off. Bastard. Never mind about it, Andy. Never mind about it.
I'm not going to take part in your little nursery here.
All right.
I'm leaving.
Goddamn right.
Noodles.
I
It's
mean,
not a problem at all. I got plenty of noodles over there.
You know, and I just think the choreography in this movie is what kills this movie. There's some great camera shots. The upside down scene that we talked about earlier, that was really, really good. Nice. The supposedly quote unquote uncut 32-minute shot at the end of the film, or third reel, perfectly fine. I can deal with that. That's good. But the choreography, the fight scenes are just absolutely dreadful. It's
I'm
like
not
it's
the
like
fucking Red Cross, and I'm no nurse.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to call you a nurse if you keep playing that shit.
Why you
First
gonna
time I did it,
you gonna
I
laugh at
totally-
yourself and have a heart attack?
Oh, gee.
First time I did it, I totally grossed myself out.
Yeah.
You're on your own, woman.
There we go. MZ's lines. Well,
Yeah.
not all of them, but some of his lines from Blood Pigs.
Yes. And like I said, the choreography just never got better. People were missing their marks. They were overselling like crazy. It's like they were making it up as they were going along. And with the sword fight, that was even worse. Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
and I mean, there were some, obviously like logistic moves, right? Is you have this huge sword and you're not really doing anything with it.
Yeah, you could see her like holding back. She's like ready to take a swing with it, and you could see her like holding back.
One thing I will say about the sword is that the sword looked way too heavy for her to wield at times.
Yeah.
I do kind of wish, like at that point in time, the director or someone should be like, okay, maybe we need to get her a different weapon, because I don't know if it was heavy, but the way that she was wielding it made it look like she could
just
barely
awkward.
hold it. Yeah,
Well, I think I think she was just being careful with it. I don't know if the whole thing. I would hope that it was dulled down, but it definitely seemed like, hey, this could actually hurt somebody because it's just because of the size. So it seemed like what MZ was saying. She holds back a little bit, and on the Blu-ray, they actually have like this half an hour featurette that I kind of skimmed through, and they totally rehearsed all the fights, like, old school, like kind of Matrix style, right? Where they're in the gym clothes and they rehearse all the moves and they have the wires. They did all that. And that's kind of the bummer, is like they went to all that effort in pre-production that it doesn't commit or really sell very well on the film when it came down to getting it on camera.
Now what I was starting to believe with the choreography and the fight scenes was that maybe that they were just trying to play it up as if this is what there was no choreography, as that or very little choreography, like this is what a real fight would look like. That I started playing that idea in my brain. I'm thinking, if that's the case, it really doesn't translate well on camera.
Right.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, I did start the conversation out by saying that some of the choreography wasn't great. Now, obviously, for $350,000, if that is in fact the budget, you can't hire like a top choreographer, and I imagine that, that they couldn't afford for all of these folks to go get, like take months and months of martial arts training or weapons training or whatever. So, I imagine that they did their best to the best of their ability. And it wasn't offensive to me. Like, I think that some of the choreography could have been better, but I think when it came down to it, the last 32 minutes, whether I was into it, and totally bought in and I was able to overlook some things, maybe that's part of it. But I think the last 32 minutes, I think that it did sort of come together, and I think that a lot of the fights in there were pretty good, and they had to with the way they shot it, like just sort of one roaming camera. They had to be very economical with their moves, and the camera, even like the cameraman had to be on his spot and be in the right spot. And, I think there was probably a lot that went into that. And I think, I applaud them for even giving it a go. I think it was really well executed for what they had.
If the only problems were with that 30-minute continuous shot.
Yeah.
If that was the only problems, they were forgivable. But there were problems throughout the whole movie with the choreography.
Oh no, that's what I said. Like I started off by saying that I had some issues with it.
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
that's I'm just kind of.
You know what the crazy thing is? The guy who is like a choreography Nazi, the guy who holds everything up against like 3 films, is
You.
the only guy here who
Right.
fucking liked
It's you.
it. Like I thought the choreography was stylized. I enjoyed it. I liked. I was bought in on her fight for survival. Like I really liked it.
I'm just
Yeah.
Just for clarification, Molly, you watched Molly?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. No. I went back and
Just wanted to make sure.
no.
Wow.
I fucking went back and watched fucking Bumble carries a puppet or whatever everybody liked a couple weeks ago.
What?
Like whatever garbage. we
Bumble?
had
He
to
watched
watch.
Molly's game.
Oh, possum.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
Fucking the shit where Monster's like just fucking making up words for his review.
But no, like here's the thing. Like I'm still questioning if it's bad choreography or is it I think it's bad performance mixed in with like maybe some bad camera movement. I mean, let's be honest, like to really sell some great fights, not only do you need some choreography behind it, but you also need to know where to put the camera.
Right.
And I mean, it could be a little bit of both, and I think it is. But like what Wolfie was saying, I mean, yes, they miss a couple of hits, and that sucks. You do think about it when you're watching it, but it didn't take me out completely. Like I think the worst choreographed fight is probably when they're in that kind of like sand pit by the hut with the little girl. I mean, there's a lot of
I
mistakes
agree.
That's
there.
the worst shot fight.
Yeah, I
that's for
agree.
sure.
That was my least favorite fight scene.
You know what? I'll say the worst one was in the end with the bed.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's part of the 30 minutes, so it's kind of forgivable because it's like they can't go cut halfway through.
Yeah. That was.
But if you were going to separate shots, the whole thing with the bed. Awful.
I think the get a room. I think the
Well, just into the mic. Just into the mic.
I agree.
Thank you.
Right. Well, good.
Needed to hear that, huh?
I just want to make sure everyone else heard that.
Yeah.
Of all the endorsements you get.
I'll take them where I can get them.
But the I don't know. I think that there are very few instances like The Raid or like Chuck Norris fighting Bruce Lee in what was it? Not Game of Way of the Dragon. Was
Yes.
that what it's called?
Yes.
Where that fight, if you leave it alone, is probably just as fucking cool in one take as it is edited by the director. There are a few instances in that. I think that. I mean, I love Brian Paulin, and he made it look like you could have a sword fight. Like so, I think at the end of the day, a lot of this choreography, in a lot of instances, I agree with Andy 100%, was kind of held out to dry. Like, I think the close combat sections were really, really good, but I don't think that this director is an action director. And that's like when I was, very similar, not to bring up another dead horse, but like when I was talking about Suspiria the other day, like I felt like that guy wasn't necessarily had his horror chops down, in my opinion. And I think that this guy, like, it's not easy. Like people think that it's easy to shoot an action scene or a good one anyway, or a combat scene specifically. And I would say it's probably amongst like the hardest things to shoot because there's the pro wrestling element in the sense where you have to see enough of it to not get took out of it.
I'm not arguing that point, but people have done it. It's not a new thing.
Yeah, I mean, Corando did it with less money, allegedly, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, I do understand where, like, the problem is, but I do think there's also an air of, like, stylized here that I enjoyed that did come across, and I think her fighting, something that we have only talked about a little bit, like, changed a little bit over the course of the movie, too, which is another reason that I think it might have got shot in order. Or at least they were very conscious of the fact that she became a little less sloppy as it went, and she became like a little more concise in her killing. And you saw that from the moment that those people, when something happened to a friend of hers, and when those people came out of the smoke and stuff like that. Like, it wasn't shot all that much better, but I think that as a character, like her movement and everything else, like I think that she was like developing, almost like having like a spiritual training, like becoming the thing she'd been running for, what she was bred for. And then as she went closer and closer back to like, where the arena was, if you will, she became more and more that thing. And I think,
what is that thing though?
Like she was a killer. Like she was this legendary thing that had these legendary powers, and she also was one of the ones that got away.
Well, that's another thing though. They allude to that she's this legendary thing, but they never talk about what that is.
Well, you don't have to.
You kind of do.
No.
You kind
I
of
think
do.
it is a little bit of a misstep, right? Because you introduce this character that has these special powers, and she's become kind of mythical because, there's a few lines that some of the scavengers will say is like, "Oh, I've heard about you. You're the girl," and all this other stuff. And it's like, okay, let's get some explanation. She was obviously an experiment. I get that.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, well, what did they do? Is she like, and I guess, some people will maybe say she's a mutant, or it's open for interpretation, and that's fine, but it's almost too open
It is.
for
Well,
interpretation.
we're probably
way
not going to
too
see
open.
it, but not for
Yeah.
nothing. But this is obviously chapter 1, right? Like,
Yeah,
So,
they are in post production on another film starring Molly. Like,
Oh, God.
Oh, there's a sequel.
well, I don't know if
Well,
it's a sequel.
I don't think it's a
Yeah.
sequel. I think it's a separate movie. It's called Kill Mode.
They left it open that there was going to be a continuation of this story.
yeah, if they don't do it right
And
away.
the other thing is, my thought is there was probably a scene that ended up on the cutting room floor that told a little bit more about her, but I don't think it was necessary. I think it might have added
Yeah, I liked
to
it more without it.
But I could go. For me, it certainly didn't take away from my enjoyment of it. But I could see how some people might be like, well, what is this prophecy? Who is she? How was she made? Like, there's some flashbacks and there's some. They sort of hint at it, but they never come out and say exactly what it is, But yeah, so I mean, for me, it was fine, but I could totally see people being like, I wanted more. I wanted more of this. I wanted to know the prophecy or who she was or whatever.
I was okay with the vagueness. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
It's pretty self-explanatory.
well,
but-
you can watch this movie and wonder if they shot it in order and think, did the actress learn as she was going, or did the character learn as she was going?
She did seem surprised by the powers at times.
The powers, obviously, she
Yeah.
was surprised by. But as Mars was saying, that she was obviously progressing as a character.
I think
But
she-
is it a character or is it a person?
But I think she was surprised because why would she have run? Like, if she could kill 8 or 9 people in that field, why would she run all the
Well,
time?
I'm not arguing the powers
Instead of just
aspect.
No,
of
no,
it,
but that's the
you're
thing.
you're saying her fighting ability was
she,
progressing,
But she killed a whole bunch of people in that fight before she used her powers, too.
right?
That she ran from initially.
Okay, but so what do you say? So you're saying she progressed as a character?
The
not as a
character was
person.
the like as she got closer, I think, to that place, she
So the
turned
character
more
was
and more,
progressing.
more and more of a killer. Because by the time she got into that building, she was just fucking killing dudes.
But
like,
that was something that should have been explained in the movie, because that is vague whether it's the
yeah, I
character or
don't
the
know.
person.
Like I think I watched it, so I didn't need it explained. Like,
I watched it; that wasn't fully explained.
Yeah, I don't know.
Did Raven Shadow watch it?
I did. There was a Boba Fett little cameo at
There
the
was a
end.
Boba Fett.
You see that? You see the Boba
Of all the
Fett
things he
symbol?
notices, Jesus.
That was a thing, right?
Well, he is on your luggage, so.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the Mandalorian symbol. It wasn't actual Boba Fett. See?
The one thing that actually I don't know if this probably wasn't a nod to it, but she had her bird companion. I immediately thought of Beastmaster, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a fucking amazing movie, but
Lady Hawk.
yeah, I yeah,
That was Beastmaster.
yeah, Beastmaster was the one that I thought of.
Harry Potter.
And obviously we did get some animal violence, which was unfortunate, but I did really enjoy like that she had what was it? Was it a? Did anyone know what kind of bird it was?
It was a hawk.
It was a hawk.
It was a
Okay.
hawk.
So I thought that was kind of a nice little touch as well, and it sort of like harkened back to, like I said, like those '80s sort of movies that made me think of it. And I did really like the relationship between Molly and Bailey. Like I thought that it was like grounding, and like I said, the performances weren't phenomenal, but I was engaged enough where I was able to overlook some stuff, and I thought that the relationship between those two characters was cool, and definitely gave Molly sort of a newfound sort of reason to fight, like, because she was like running a lot, and then she kind of stood her ground and started to fight, right? Or met them head on.
Right.
Because she had to, So I thought that was kind of a cool thing, and it's such a basic story. We're in a post-apocalyptic setting, and we have Molly who's kind of running from things, and then she meets this girl, and then protects her because her parents are probably dead, and then the girl is kidnapped so that Molly will come to them, because they're looking for Molly to fight in their fighting pit, and so it's the most basic of stories. But I think that they did a pretty good job of executing it, and I did enjoy a lot of the the interaction between those two characters. So yeah, and I thought that there was enough here. Like, this is, if they had skilled actors, choreographers, maybe this is a different film. But for what they had to work with, I think they did a very admirable job on this.
And I realize that it's probably a lot of it, probably most of it, to do with budgetary constraints. But I would have liked the battle pit to be a little more Thunderdome rather than the back of a
Just
pickup truck.
Well,
I mean,
a hole in a floor.
I mean, it was. What was that?
Yeah,
like?
it was pretty basic. It wasn't really dressed up very well, right?
It was like 6x10. It wasn't large at all.
Yeah.
Here's a curious question, and I'm going to try to avoid spoilers. So, with Bailey's mom and dad,
Yep.
do we think we see them at all in the movie?
Not 100% clear.
I think so at the
Yeah,
end, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
made
that's
clear
what
at
I'm-
the end.
I thought we saw the dad.
No, I
Okay,
think
yeah,
I
see?
think it's
Okay.
it's the two people they capture at the beginning, pretty
Right.
much.
Yeah.
Not yet. Not 100% clear until the end.
Right. But there's that one shot where they kind of look,
Yeah.
and there seems to be kind of a look of recognition of like I don't know. I think it's very calculated on how they do it, and I kind of dug that because it's not force-handed to you.
Yeah.
Did anyone else think that there was some sort of at least experimental relationship between Molly and the girl with the Iron Man arm?
Maybe a little bit. It's like, and here's the thing. Like, I did a little bit of research. Apparently, I don't know if you guys remember the logo that was on some of the boxes inside that final fight scene, but it's like it's a green triangle with a C in the middle. Apparently, that's where I think maybe you guys were talking about sequelization. That company is apparently one of the main parts of their new movie, Kill Mode.
Okay.
Like, if you look at the poster, you'll for Kill,
I'm looking at it
you'll,
now.
you'll see what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But it's kind of spray painted on some of the crates and the boxes in that fight scene.
Triangle with a C, yeah.
But yeah, here's the thing: is like Kim, the Iron Woman, with the arm, it didn't make sense. Like, functionality wise, it didn't make sense to me either. So that was one disappointing part. It's like, oh, she has a mechanical arm just because, like, maybe her arm went dead or she didn't want to lose the arm. I'm thinking we're going to get some sort of backstory. But when it malfunctions, she's able to use her arm. No problem. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
I'm
was
with
just
you
kind of
there.
disappointing. It's like, oh, I just wanted a really cool accessory to fuck people up with.
Yeah. Why not, right?
Yeah, why not?
And let's see, what else do I have to say about this flick? Yeah, I think there was one other thing, and because that this world may continue is probably why we got it. But there's sort of like a there was a point at which if the film ended, I was going to be really happy, but then it continued maybe like a minute or two longer. And
I know
like,
which,
and I was like, oh, it just should have ended.
Yeah,
you know,
I know what scene you're talking about. I totally
and
agree.
That would have been better. You know, I know not all movies do this. You know, if you're not Marvel or Star Wars or whatever, you're probably not doing it. But I think it would have been better for a post-credit sequence. You know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So that was one of the things. I just thought it would have been such a poignant ending if it ended at one point before it went to that, and then you can just tack that on at the end or even mid credits or something. It just didn't seem like almost seemed like too much, you know. But it's just a severe nitpick. You know, it's one of those things where, you know, that if that's how the directors wanted to end it, then by all means, you know, it didn't really take away my enjoyment, but I think it could have been just a tiny bit better if it had ended there.
Because I mean, you know what? You put that mid credits or end credits, and you can forget about it, disregard it. But the fact that it's still with the movie,
exactly,
it's kind of add on. You need to do something with it.
Yep. All right. Before we head to verdict on this, do you guys have any additional thoughts? Anything that you wanted to bring up that we haven't had a chance to discuss yet? No? All right. Well, let's go to the verdict on this one.
Trick or treat, baby.
I wonder if people would say you're a trick or a treat.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
All right. Verdict time. We're going to let you know whether this flick was a trick or a treat and any final thoughts we may have. You know what? Fuck it. I'll go first. I usually go last. So for me, this was a treat. This probably won't likely make my end of the year list, but it was a surprisingly fun flick. I think the film clearly had budget constraints, and it showed it at times. But for the most part, I think this film outpunches its weight, and I think it's worth watching alone for the last 32 minutes. I think that was quite an impressive feat, whether it was one continuous take or not. You know, I still think it's an impressive scene, and you know, the one thing, if it was one continuous, I wonder how many takes it took to get it right, you know. But I think that a lot of the characters were likable and believable, and I like that this film hints at a much bigger world. Now, at the time, I didn't realize that there was potentially going to be more stories being told in this world, but now that I know that, it makes sense. But they did a good job of making it feel like there was a much bigger world out there, and we just saw the tip of the iceberg. I definitely will be curious to check out additional films from this duo. I think I hope I'm saying the name right, but Thies has the film Kill Mode, which we've already referenced, and you know that's in post production right now, and the film does star. Let me take a look here, and it does
Julia Bedelan.
Yeah, it does star her, and she does play Molly, so I assume it's the same character. And based on what you had said, Andy, about the poster and everything, you know, this obviously takes place in the same world. So it will be interesting to see what they do with that. And I wouldn't mind sort of a not necessarily a sequel, but a sort of adjacent sort of like story being told in this world.
How about a Freddy?
I didn't say adjacent.
No.
But, you know, even if it's, you know, maybe sort of like a Mad Max type of thing, or, you know, like just there's no real flow, like one doesn't flow into the next, just stories from this world. I think would be interesting. So you know, I will be interested in checking that out. And you know, for overall everything that they had with this, I thought this was an enjoyable watch. And you know, certainly we've seen worse films this year, so you know, that's going to go on the box art now. We've seen worse films this year.
I've seen worse.
So, treat for me. Let's kick it over to our guest, Andy.
Yeah, I mean, also just to kind of, I mean, Julia Bedelan, assuming that's how you pronounce it, it does seem like she's reprising her role in that Kill Mode movie, but honestly, it almost looks like a prequel if you look at the stills, because she's in that hospital gown outfit. So
okay,
I'm interested to check it out. I mean, that's the thing. Like, even though we kind of harped on some of the cinematography and stuff like that, I mean, I know this isn't one of the director's first films, but here's what I do like about this. it's a treat for me overall, but it does kind of border into some trick. I will say that. But the one thing I do like about it is it's a foreign film from the Netherlands that is trying to be a big budget film, and they're using. I mean, you could see that they're scrapping to try to make something big and probably put their foot in the door, right? And it looks like Kill Mode. I mean, just based off the poster and some of the production stills, that's what they're kind of aiming for. I don't know if they're trying to go the Neil Blomkamp route or what, but I can appreciate it. I think they made mostly right calls on this. I think the lead actress is really the MVP and what really sells the film. I think she kind of runs with it. The only times it stumbles is when you're dealing with the other actors. And like we talked about some of the cinematography and it's a little clumsy, but I think there's a lot to dig into this movie. It's not one I'll probably rewatch anytime soon, but I think it's worth a look, especially if you're a fan of post-apocalyptic movies. If that's like that gets your dick hard or your pants wet, you might dig it.
All right, let's go to Rain Shadow.
Yeah, I mean, I think I share pretty much everyone's criticisms of the choreography. I didn't mind the actors. I kind of liked the Dutch arcade from Murder World kind of character.
Yeah.
You son of a bitch.
I liked how he was slapping his head and he didn't like Bob.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about Bob.
Bob, yeah. And
Bob
Truth.
was pretty awesome. And Truth, yeah.
I kept thinking about our Truth.
That was pretty. That scene was actually pretty funny when Bob came out.
Yeah. So I dug that.
What do you say, Bob?
Bob. Yeah.
We got beat by Bob.
I like that dude. Didn't wear that top hat all the time, I was also too. I did get the Turbo Kid kind of comparison.
Sure. It's hard to avoid.
Right.
And
then thinking about low budgets, I mean, once again, this is not a comparison, but you look at what was done with
Is
Manborg.
he your favorite DC character, low budget?
That's Lobo. Look what they did with Manborg. Granted, it's a different skill set.
Sure.
To do that. Yep. I do applaud what they did. I would be interested in a continuation if we were doing it for the show. I might check it out. But overall, I was on the brink of tepid treat, but it's treat enough.
Treat enough.
Yeah.
All right, Aries.
Yeah, we didn't really touch on the Bob aspect. I did want to talk on that. I felt that was a little too forced. The fact that you had a character that was supposed to be a badass named Bob, and then you introduced him, and he still looked very nonchalant. I felt that was a little too on the nose. Like, give him Bob and then have him be a badass, or give him, he's, Killer Supreme, and then he comes out in a business suit type of thing.
Oh, yeah, fair.
I mean, I just thought that was just a little too much. Pick one or the other and go with it. That's my take on that.
Maybe they're taking notes.
Maybe they are.
Thank you, Eddie.
Yeah.
I don't know what Dutch people sound like.
Yeah, I don't know where to go with that.
You just watched a whole movie with
Dutch people.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't want.
You're too busy giving yourself Dutch rudders.
I don't want to generalize.
Well, I don't know what taking notes mean. What? Never mind.
No, the producers are listening to the show,
Yeah.
and they want to know what Aries thinks.
Oh yeah, they're gonna cast me in the next movie.
They might, yeah. But Aries, do you speak Dutch?
Yeah. No, I don't.
Just say danga da danga da dang.
Yeah.
No.
I really want you to say that.
No.
Say it for, I guess, Andy. You want him to say that, right?
Andy does not want me to say
Oh,
that.
I do.
Oh, I thought you were my boy. That works for Raven Shadow. I don't know. No, I mean, I guess it's not a secret. I didn't love this movie. I didn't like.
But
this
it was
movie.
91 minutes.
I know.
It
You
still
know
felt
what?
long, though, sometimes.
I looked at this poster. I love this poster. I looked at the runtime. I love this runtime. I thought this was gonna. You know what? Even the description, action, sci-fi. I was like, okay, sci-fi. The general description of the battling of in the pit and everything else. I'm like, yes, this is my movie. This is gonna be my #1 of the year. We have it. And then I watched it and went, fuck. This is not. This is not. This, yeah. No. Nope.
This is not.
This is not. No. I can't even form words. Wow. This movie has certain aspects of it I did love. Like.
Wow.
That's the distinction. I liked them. I liked the 30-minute perceived non-cut, runtime at the end there. That whether it was or not, I don't care.
So you mean uncircumcised?
Yeah, I don't care if it was.
Is that what the Dutch do?
I think so. I watched a couple of different Dutch films.
I don't want to hear about those Dutch films.
German Scheiser films, you mean?
Yeah, also
it's
on
close,
Black
right?
Friday. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
All the Fuhrer.
I don't care if it was or wasn't. I loved that last 30 minutes of this movie. Some of the choreographic I forget what word I forget what word I used.
It's a hard word, man.
No. Oh, I was trying to recreate the word I made up.
Choreographic was the made-up word.
Okay, the choreographic.
Words are hard. See, you shouldn't mess with the Dutch, man. We know English. We're fucking it up.
Trying to make my own words here, and it's not working. Some of it I didn't have a problem with it, but I loved the whole as a whole. I loved it. If that was the only problem with it, that would have been fine. But there was a lot of other problems with this movie, and I just thought it wasn't thought out. There wasn't enough. They should have been more. I felt it was a student film that was given a big budget, and so I'm going to have to give this a trick.
Wow. You zigged when I thought you were going to zag.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You don't be sorry. All right, MZ.
Whew, man, how do I follow up on that?
You're talking to the mic. That's how you do it.
Shut up. You of all people laugh at you.
I think he's crying.
Yeah, I think he's crying.
You know,
give him a Dutch rudder. Come on, be a good guy.
No.
Give him a beach.
It's a holiday. Come on.
Give him a beach.
Pretend we're the lucky dog.
Yeah, we're the lucky dog. We're in the alleyway. It's dark. No one's around.
Turn the lights off.
You got those DSLs.
Yeah, the wind's blowing.
I'll shut my eyes.
It's cold outside.
No, okay.
Pretend like you're blowing out candles.
Yeah, it's your birthday.
I mean, looking at the synopsis of this film, this looks like it could be pretty good. And by all accounts, this should have been good, but it's not. The sets are decent, except for that pit. That's
size-wise.
Yeah.
If you had just made it bigger, it would have been fine.
Yeah.
How does the set design build up to butt crack? That's what I want to know.
Because butt crack was
Fatty
actually
rides
shot
the
in a
bus.
house. Because Fatty Drives the Bus was actually shot in Chicago, on the streets of Chicago, the mean streets of Chicago.
Can't beat that.
Stand corrected.
The mean streets of Stamford, Connecticut.
But oh boy, I'm gonna keep going back to that.
Boy.
I'm gonna keep going back to that choreography because I mean, if you got a movie, an action movie, where a lot of fights are involved, whether it's hand-to-hand combat, or weapons, you gotta have choreography that's a hell of a lot better than this. I mean, the missing the mark here happens so often. It's almost of like Luke Skywalker doing the kick on that stormtrooper in Jedi.
Wait, what? What'd you say?
I'm not the fucking Red Cross, and I'm no nurse.
What'd you say?
When Luke Skywalker kicks that stormtrooper in Jedi in the head, you could he misses by like a good 6 inches.
Oh yeah.
He's got the
You know,
fucking
and
force.
it's
You don't have
all-
to hit people.
It is true. He does have force.
Yeah.
It was a force kick, buddy.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah, but people don't.
Oh, will you shut up?
Yeah, but people don't hit in every
For
fight.
God's sakes.
Like you talk about fight
Why do you
choreography.
always
like,
got to try to interfere? Shut the fuck up.
Because you say dumb things. and
No,
it's
I don't say
infuriating.
dumb things.
You
It's
do.
they're
You
just
got a
dumb
dumb
to you
Red
because
Sox
you
shirt
can't-
on. You look like a circus tent.
Oh, God.
You look like the fucking
Will you
stadium.
keep your mouth shut,
We let
Uncle
you go-
Fester?
We let you go on a half-hour rant about how bad it is for sports. So let him talk
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
5
Yeah.
minutes.
He's bad for sports.
Keep your
too.
cock holster shut. It's of that magnitude.
It's been a while.
And it happens in every fight scene, every single fight scene, at least 5 or 6 times per.
It's not a problem at all. I got plenty of noodles
Shut
over
that
there.
shit off. And it's terrible. And to say that the fight scenes are anything above that is an absolute joke. The acting is amateurish at best. The acting is completely over the top, and it just doesn't.
Is it
settle-
amateur or is it over the top?
It's amateurishly over the top.
Good save.
No, pick one.
And man, I should have gotten a lot more out of this movie, and I didn't. I'm not even going to talk about the final 30-minute scene because everyone's talked about that. Personally, it's cut. I mean, you could just tell it's cut.
Oh, wow.
But this movie, if this movie had its act cleaned up, decent choreography, better acting, this movie could have been something. It could have been something that I would look forward to watching again.
Could have been something. Could have been a contender.
And to be perfectly honest, knowing that what's the name of the movie? Kill Mode.
Yeah.
I might want to take a look at that. You know, I'm actually kind of interested in seeing that. Hopefully, they improve on some of the things that were wrong in this film. So we'll see what happens there. But right now, I got to give this a trick. This is probably one of the worst films of the year.
Oh, jeez.
This
Really?
this was terrible.
We did see A Taste of Phobia this year.
Right.
Oh man, that fucking movie.
Andy seen it.
Yeah.
And you
Andy
definitely,
knows our
By the same
pain.
company too.
Yeah.
definitely just
Yeah.
fucking jacked off over that dude walking around like Mr. Bean for 90 minutes carrying a puppet in a bag. Like, I'm not sure that.
We did see Dawn of the Dead Bloodline
Right,
yeah.
this year.
All right. Well, I forgot about those two. So all right. Well, we'll work it out. But
We've seen some
but
doozies, so
we've seen some bad films this year. Seen some great films this year.
yeah.
This is a bad film.
All right, Mars.
Andy, I don't know if you know this, but I like to review films. So if you're ever looking for, if anybody ever, drop.
You could take them off our hands whenever you want. Andy. We're ready.
God, you guys are mean.
He's only mean to the people who disagree with him.
Everybody on your show says all the right words.
He's passing it.
There's no lightning on a barrel. I love this movie, and I would be very surprised if it didn't make my top 13 this year.
Wow.
How about that?
I enjoyed it. I think that Monster Zero, strangely, and all of his blithering, touched on something, and I think that they were trying to kind of, like, it didn't all work all the time, but I do think they were trying to add a little bit of, like, you don't hit every time in a real fight, like, and people weren't always selling it when they missed, like it was like it was like a real hit, like it wasn't like a, somebody missed, obviously, and they took a Greg the Hammer Valentine bump, like I thought that I really enjoyed this, and I liked the way the fights built and her power worked. I liked the way her power looked. I enjoyed this. There's a movie that you all love that I liked more than this. So, I think that this will definitely make my top 13. So, maybe not my top 5. But, I mean, again, when we watched Lowlife, I was guaranteed that was going to make my top 5 at that time. And I don't know as we sit here right now if it will. So, this is the best movie year since we've been making films.
Oh, wait,
You got like 7 or 8 films.
Yeah, is this your number one?
We've been making films?
Yes.
No, this is my number 1. This is in the, like I said, I'm not positive this will be my top 5. But, I mean, we have a film coming up by one of my favorite working directors. So, like...
As opposed to one of your favorite non-working directors?
Yeah.
Well, it could be dead.
Well, dead directors aren't working anymore,
yeah,
right?
Or
a dead director.
Or John Carpenter. What the fuck's he doing, dim right?
He's playing
Yeah, he's not
video
making-
games,
but
smoking
is he-
pot, and
but
making
is he
music.
Smoking.
But is he making movies?
doesn't need
Well,
to.
then he's not a working director, you fucking twat nose, dick face cunt.
What are you looking at, dick nose?
My
He's
God.
making pornos.
The amount of times that you almost fucking died, like you can't even get that right. I thought this was a treat. Whatever.
What?
Dude, you
Don't
watch
laugh.
the worst fucking movies ever. You have zero credibility.
I have plenty of credibility.
With whom?
Dude,
My
you're
Grammy?
actually going to put this movie up there with
Yes, he just said that.
with Timo's film.
No, I think
I keep
that's
forgetting
my
the name of it.
Well,
The
you
Night
must
Comes
have
for Us.
fucking
The
loved
Night
it.
Comes
then.
for Us.
The Night Comes
Yeah.
for Us. Yes.
I think that is in contention for my favorite movie of the year.
How about that?
Wow.
All right, so that is going to do it for our discussion.
Wait,
of-
so I don't think you understood what I said. I'm not putting it there. The Night Comes for Us.
No,
is my
I
favorite
heard
movie.
what you said. It's just incredible how far the needle drops.
I
What does
think
that even
I think you
mean?
missed what Johnny said. We're moving on.
Yeah, but
I think Mr. Dynamo said it's going to be not the top 5, but it'll be in the top.
It might be in the.
The
we
important
do.
thing here, we're moving on.
We do have, and this is what I'm moving on to. So that is going to do it for our discussion of Molly. If you guys are interested in this film, it is super cheap right now on Amazon. I don't know if you can get it elsewhere for the same price, but it is like $11.69 or something like that for the Blu-ray, and like $7 or $8 for the DVD. And if you just want a digital copy, it's like I think $4 to $6 or something like that. So you can get it really inexpensively. So if you're on the fence, I would recommend it. I think the movie's worth it for the last 32 minutes. But like take with a grain of salt, and whoever you respect the most, listen to their opinion. Not MZ. No, I just kidding.
take the grain of salt and throw it in his fucking big fat eyes.
It's $5 on HD.
Yeah,
And if you go through the, Trick or Treat Radio affiliate link,
Yeah.
which I think you guys get a better percentage if you go the instant video. Just saying. But yeah. I think it's worth a $5 watch,
Yeah.
especially like I said, if you're a fan of post-apocalyptic movies, I think it's worth a watch.
Yeah.
And definitely, if we're going to get a percentage of that, watch it.
Yeah, watch it.
So, but speaking of the end of the year lists, so we have one more month left. We have the month of December. That's 4 weeks. So there's so many movies that we have to catch up on to get in before the end of the year. We need to fucking cram jam, guys.
Everybody quit your day jobs.
Yeah.
Let's get cracking.
Well, it's not quite watching 120 short films,
No.
Andy, like you had to do, but
Forget about Christmas shopping.
yeah, forget about Christmas shopping. Hope you got it done.
It's a good thing I saved up my vacation time.
Harry's gonna have to
In your
take a
lucky,
day off a week.
we very easily could have changed the parameters because I think we had a list of like.
Oh, you want to do triple?
Yeah,
triple it
'cause-
up?
But
Do
you
3
know what's
films a
funny?
week?
If we did 3 films a week, we still wouldn't get all the
No,
things that we
no.
had on the list.
We
that
literally
wanted to
had
see,
like 30 films that were remaining to watch for this year, and we had to narrow it down to 8. So hopefully we made smart choices. Dynamo and I had.
It was pretty close when we made both of our lists.
Yeah.
Thanks for including us. We
Well-
appreciate it.
Yeah, we don't care.
It would have been too
Well,
difficult.
Johnny cares, but
I do care.
Hey,
Thank you.
But I had to make a snap decision.
It's
so.
why we
who
have a
brought you here tonight?
It's why we have a Deadites group with just the 3 of us and Tiny and Matrix in it, because otherwise every single decision would involve like making a fucking clubhouse at Capitol
and-
Toys. It would be fucking
well,
off the hook.
The motherfucker who brought you here should have a say in one of the
And
movies.
for the record,
I picked good ones for you.
For the record, Raven Shadow is not going to go watch the film trailers. I'll list 30 films, and I guarantee you he's not going to watch one film trailer.
Well, I don't like watching trailers.
Right. There you go.
But no, I mean, I like being surprised.
I picked a couple of these with you 2 specifically in mind.
You guys, so I can guarantee you guys are going to love next week.
I
No, I'm sorry, 2 weeks from now.
I'd be willing to bet, without knowing any of the movies, I will hate the ones he picked for me. Mars.
Well, we were
decided
pretty
I will
much
love.
in agreement.
Yeah.
There was one that he had on there that I didn't have, and one I had that he didn't
I'd be
have.
willing to, because he's awful. He thinks I love movies and I hate them.
Okay, well, let me tell you what we're watching. So next week, we are going to be doing. So we're 2 films. One, they're actually both on Netflix. Actually, so we're doing a Netflix double feature next week, and one of them is from one of our favorite, probably one of our favorite working directors. Not dead.
My favorite
not-
working directors.
yeah, we've done a bunch of his films before, and that would be Kim Ji-woon and his new film Ilang, The Wolf Brigade. Now, do you guys remember Kim Ji-woon?
I went to high school with him.
He did I Saw the Fucking Devil?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
A Tale of Two Sisters.
This won't be
Age
one
of
you guys
Shadows. Remember Age of Shadows?
Yeah.
Fucking last year, a movie?
Oh, yeah.
How many hours is this?
He did The Last Stand. He did The Good, the Bad, and the Weird.
Okay.
Yep.
He did a segment on The Three Extremes Part 2, and he also did The Foul King.
Oh, yeah.
And,
He's done most of
and
his
The
movies,
Quiet
really.
Family, which eventually was remade by Takashi Miike as Happiness of the Katakuris.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So this dude is fucking awesome, and this is his latest flick. Actually, El Goro had reviewed this on his podcast,
Yeah.
Talk Without Rhythm. So if you guys want to hear a smart dissection of the film, you can go ahead and check that out. But yeah, Ilang, The Wolf Brigade is available on Netflix, so we're going to check that out. And just to let you guys know, it's a South Korean film, so it is long. Plan ahead.
How long is it,
How
Johnny?
many days?
2 hours and 20 minutes.
This won't be one of the ones that you guys like. This was not one I picked with you in mind.
Well, I think they'll like this.
Nah, I hope it hurts them. Hope it breaks
It's
them.
based on an anime. It's based on an anime. If that has if that
I
does
thought
anything
the
for you,
name sounded familiar.
it's based on Jinro, the Wolf Brigade.
No,
So-
Has anybody checked out Chan Wook Park's miniseries, The Little Drummer Girl?
No, I have not.
I mean,
What?
is that a remake of a? That was a movie, right? In the 80s. It could be just using the name.
It might, I can't remember. I know it's based on the John Le Carré, or however you say his name. That author. He's got a whole bunch of spy novels.
Yeah, I could have sworn I've seen like a movie poster in the old VHS days.
Yeah, that is interesting.
You're not thinking of the little girl down the lane, right?
No, it was like a red poster with a black silhouette of a girl, little drummer girl, and I think she was carrying like an AK-47 and wearing a beret.
Interesting. So it's on AMC. I didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And the cast is pretty great. It's got what's his name?
Alexander Skarsgård, Michael Shannon.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. I think it had Diane Keaton in it.
Really? Okay.
And Klaus Kinski, I think.
Oh
Yeah.
Jesus!
And what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
The movie, yeah, but it was back in the 80s. I'll have to look it
Are you
up.
sure you're not talking about the traditional Christmas song about the small lad marching his way to Bethlehem?
Well, no, that's funny because as a kid, that's what I was thinking about, and then I saw that, and I'm like that's a bad girl, because I you should just drum and rock out to
Yeah.
Jesus.
Do you think that she filled her AK-47 with myrrh?
Yeah, yeah.
No, frankincense.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well,
Busty full of frankincense.
So I think these are all available now. I think it's a TV miniseries, six episodes.
Yeah.
I don't. Oh,
And
actually,
if it's not all
yeah.
aired, it's probably available on AMC.com or something. That's what a
Yeah.
lot of these networks are doing now.
yeah, I'll have to check that out because I really like his work. And so if you guys remember, we did The Handmaiden last year from Park Chan-wook, and he also did Lady Vengeance,
Stoker?
Old Boy,
Stoker.
yeah, Stoker, which Dynamo didn't want to see, so we didn't end up doing it on the show. But he did Old Boy. That's all you need to know.
Yep.
So yeah, he's a great director. So I definitely would like to check that out. So I didn't even know about it.
I noticed this
So-
has Charles Dance in it too. Little drummer girl.
Charles
yeah?
Danson.
No, not
Oh.
dancing. Dance.
Ted Manson.
Oh, man. Hey, y'all, I'm going out Ted dancing.
Oh shit! And then we're also
Ooh, we doing that one?
we're also doing another Netflix film that just popped up. I think a week or two ago. It is actually a Blumhouse film on direct to Netflix called Cam.
Nice.
And this one's big and some decent buzz, so we'll be checking that out. It is rated TVMA, Raven Shadow, so
wow.
just make sure you tell Ollie.
Oh, well,
Yeah, don't-
he'll go to bed. Well, he's I think he's old enough in dog years now. So
True.
he's good.
So the synopsis: Alice, an ambitious cam girl, wakes up one day to discover she's been replaced on her show with an exact replica of herself.
I'm not Ted Danson. I've changed my mind.
You changed your mind? You're the one who pushed for this.
No, not that one. I
Oh.
think about trying to get on Andy's show.
Oh. So we're going to do next week 2 Netflix picks. We're doing Ilang. That's ILLANG if you're looking for it, or just look for Wolf Brigade. So we're doing Ilang, the Wolf Brigade, and we're doing Cam. So December Cram Jam kicking it off in style.
Cam Jam.
Cam Jam.
Cam Cram Jam.
Yeah.
NBA Cam Jam. Alang, every time you say it, it reminds me of my favorite Bright Eye song for some reason.
Which is?
Halai, halai.
Halai, halai?
Lana Ilang.
Well, hey, listen, I'm not fucking hot Conaro Burst. I can't say stupid shit.
I don't even know what. Yeah,
that dude's beautiful. Wow, I thought you were talking about how he looked. Sorry.
All right, so we're gonna head to one more break. I don't know. Actually, we maybe we'll get a guest for next week. We tend to get guests for December Cram Jam. Bring a new perspective since we're doing 2 flicks. So
now that you hate Jake, he's never on anymore.
What?
Now that you hate Jake,
why do I hate Jake?
I don't know.
I don't hate Jake.
Yeah, whatever.
I love Jakey.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have someone in mind. I don't know if he's going to be
Jake, I bet.
available. I love Jake. Why would you say that?
I don't know. Where's he been?
He's in Virginia now. He's in Coop country.
Do you miss him? Do you really want him to be on? Is that what you're trying to do here?
I talk to him all day, every day.
You're trying to
guilt him.
Guilt Johnny to get him on the show?
No, I can have it. No.
That's what it sounds like.
I just don't understand the hate is all.
What hate?
There's no hate.
Mm-hmm. That kid's crying somewhere right now.
Jeez, wow.
Oh my God, you're like a wife with the guilt trip here.
Aries would know. All right, we need to head to a break, and we'll be back we get some feedback. We'll wrap things up. So how long until we're back, MZ?
We'll be back in 2 and 2.
Fucking messed it up.
You go through your week with the same old routine.
What you really want is some blood and thunder in your life.
Well, friend, you found it. The Cromcast is an adventurous journey through the history of two-fisted pulp stories
with your hosts John,
Josh,
and Luke.
We have action,
horror,
and adventure, all through the lens of pulp luminary Robert E. Howard.
Don't just stay in your ordinary life.
Find your pulp life at thecromcast.blogspot.com.
The Cromcast.
The Cromcast.
The Cromcast.
A podcast for the barbarian at heart.
I'm Alex West.
And I'm Andrea Subasati, and we're from the Faculty of Horror podcast.
And you're listening to Trick or Treat Radio.
Hello, darlings. It's your favorite whiskey-drinking, litigious, singing, dancing fantasy girl. Want to reach out to me and the world's greatest monster-hunting multimedia organization, the Deadites? Log on to Facebook.com/The Deadites. It's got all the info you need to follow the world's greatest monster hunting band, like live appearances, info on your favorite Deadite, music, and all the links you need to our new weekly multimedia and all our side endeavors. Too many letters on Facebook? That's okay, sugar. Just follow us on Instagram and Twitter @The Deadites. Hope to see you soon, and we'll leave the lights off.
right, we're back at Trick or Treat Radio.
Oh, god damn.
All right.
Nice.
Nice.
Nice. We are back.
All right. There was a
That's
lot of
some
yelling.
shitty singing.
There was a lot of yelling going on out there. What happened?
There's a pipe that burnt Aries.
and it hurt when I peed. Is that bad?
Yeah. Well,
did those
I
things
didn't say
happen?
where it burnt you.
Yeah, those things happen consecutively.
And I can barely walk, so Aries gets
What'd you
stuck
do?
on. I don't know. I woke up today hurt.
Good Lord.
I think
What are you showing him?
We gotta wait for Raven Shadow to get
I
back.
think
He'll
I have
be
an
highly
alternate-
interested in this.
Like, I think in my sleep I, get into fights with giant robots or something because I've been waking up all beat up lately. And I barely sleep, but when I do, I can't fucking move after.
All right.
It's just, I don't know.
I'm going to start smoking pot again. Jesus Christ, that was amazing.
You go hang out with Raven Shadow at the dispensary.
Somebody needs to put me
Raven
on
Shadow couldn't handle this.
No.
Let me see.
Somebody
It's-
needs to put me
it's-
on my misery. I can't believe
it's-
this is happening.
What
right
is
now.
it? What's the
I'm
setup?
telling you.
Show
it's-
me.
Make your high last for 8 days with this bong menorah.
All right. That's pretty cool. When's Hanukkah start this year?
Not soon enough for some people.
So, like 4 or 5 days, right?
8 days.
Not
I
how
mean,
long
it's
does it
in
last?
4 or 5 days.
When does it start?
It's early
I
this
don't know.
year.
I don't
It's
know.
early this year.
Jesse.
Who?
Who?
What? What? What are you talking about?
You
I don't
just-
know.
You crazy asshole.
Jesse Schwartzman, if you're out there listening.
Pick up.
When is Hanukkah and how long
It
is
starts
it?
Sunday.
There you go.
Oh.
Andy, man on the moment.
That's what I'm here for, guys.
To tell us when
Well,
Hanukkah
if we
is.
didn't have
Thank
you
you.
here for anything else.
All right, so we got some voicemail. We got. What the fuck are you laughing at?
We're watching the bong.
Oh my god! All right, yeah, it's pretty funny. Are you posting on Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group for people to watch?
Yeah, I'm going to post this.
Just in case people are wondering what we're laughing
Oh my
at.
god,
they
this
can
is
go check it out.
outstanding. Raven Shadow's eyes are going to turn red just by looking at it.
They're turning red right now. He's not even in the room yet. All right, so we got some feedback. Should I play without Raven Shadow?
Yes.
Yes.
Why don't we hear from actually the person who roomed with Raven Shadow last month, or a couple months ago, I guess. Or no, last month. Oh, you got to show Raven Shadow the thing. It's the
here we
it's
go. Oh, Jesus
the Hanukkah
Christ.
bong.
Bonica.
Bongaka.
Can you tell what that is?
Yeah, it's a Dutch
Oven?
yeah. That's too much.
That's too much.
That's you don't need that.
No,
You
that's
don't-
not too much.
Raven Shadow, put your headphones on.
Yeah, no. I just want to go to sleep.
You mess your hair up and put your fucking headphones on. Jesus Christ. I'm gonna embarrass you in front of Andy.
Don't bash me in front of Andy.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Just buy a fucking hat. That way you don't have to worry about it.
I can't believe
Get a hair helmet.
Or just cut your hair off.
I can't believe Wolfie's being so disrespectful to Jake. You're being disrespectful to Andy.
I'm not
this
being
is fucking
what?
outrageous.
What
are you talking about? Why am I mean to
This is
Jake?
outrageous. I don't know. That's the question. He's
I'm
a
not.
nice man.
I'm not.
You know what? All this concern, you're being mean to everyone else in this room tonight.
Yeah, well, I'm a mean person. Jake's a nice man.
I'm nice.
You're nice. Raven Shadow, I think you need to get a hair helmet like
Brett.
Like Brett. Yeah, I'm just pulling it up right now.
I'm gonna make a helmet that looks like human hair.
That's fucking weird.
Have you ever seen Fly the Conchords?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow, I've
yeah,
not seen
yeah.
that. That's something.
You should definitely do that.
To be fair, he's just watching Kids in the Hall, so he has.
That is
no,
true.
no,
That
I'm
is true.
rewatching Kids in the Hall. I watched it. I'm a huge Kids in the Hall fan.
But you said like modern, or you made some reference to that it was new.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did. Some
Heck-
wording
No,
implied that
I
it was
watched Kids in
recent.
the Hall when it dropped on HBO back in the day, man.
Hecubus.
1989. Yeah, Men Serve a Hecubus. Eradicator. And my old man was very confused when all these like dudes were in drag.
Yeah.
Al,
You watch it with your old man?
Well, he'd be over, you know.
Over. It was his house.
Well, not in those days. There might have been a There might have been a separation. He'd come over on the weekends.
Get visitation rights?
No, that wasn't even up to debate. He'd come over, bring Chinese food, watch Kids in the Hall, and you'd be confused.
All right, so first voicemail
All worked out.
is from Raven Shadow's roommate last month.
My boy.
That will be Evil Corny.
Nice.
Hey guys, this is Evil Corny. This week I watched Molly, and I thought it was a less fun knockoff of Turbo Kid. I really didn't care for it, so I'm going to give that a trick. For Mars, I have probably a less than a 6th degree of Kevin Bacon.
Oh.
I have a cousin that my granddad grew up with named Isaac Freeman, and he was one of the grave diggers that was singing bass in Oh Brother We're Out Thou with George Clooney.
Nice.
So, and he was also in a gospel group, though, did a cappella gospel called Oh Brother We're Out Thou. So, my cousin Isaac Freeman was in a film with George Clooney. George Clooney was in the Ocean's movies with Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt was in the movie Sleepers with Kevin Bacon.
Oh, that's good.
You'll have a good one. Evil Corny out.
That's good.
Oh, yeah. What's up, Raven Shadow? And the rest of you guys. Y'all have a good one. Evil Corny out.
Wow.
No, I mean I love comedies, and Sleepers really knocked it out the park.
Sleepers?
Yeah, that was just like the original Hangover.
Yeah, I was told by our old backstage manager, MC 900 Foot Ronsky, that my 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon doesn't count.
Why?
Because he says I'm not a person. Unquote. He says Kevin Bacon was in a lot of movies with furniture too. You can't.
What if I scared Kevin Bacon like at a Halloween like haunt?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe
Is that 1 degree?
Yeah,
Did you?
that's
No,
one
no,
degree.
because they had to appear in a movie with.
Yeah, it's a movie.
Oh,
movie or
thing.
TV show
Okay.
would be acceptable.
Yeah, the guy at the deli doesn't count. You know what I mean? Like,
Was he married to
Keira Sedgwick.
Julia Roberts, or am I
Who?
thinking of someone else?
Who?
Kevin Bacon.
No.
Bacon was
Married to
Keira
Keira Sedgwick.
That's
Yeah.
okay. That's right. They were in a movie. That's right. Julia Roberts came through as well because you and I, MZ, you were there.
There's Flatliners.
I was there.
We used to work at Spooky World.
Yep.
And we used to scare the shit out of people. And then they closed the park one night they closed it for like an hour so that the cast of this movie could come through. And it was Keira Sedgwick, Kevin Bacon, Julia Roberts, and like a bunch of other people that were there as well.
Yep.
And so I remember scaring Kevin Bacon, but apparently it doesn't count.
Was
so.
Ray Bradbury's balls ever in a movie with Kevin Bacon?
I wish.
Because you definitely saw those one time.
I definitely did.
That's awesome.
His celestial globes.
Did you climb his Halloween tree?
Yule log.
Sorry, Andy.
Yeah.
If you want to go listen to a good show.
Oh, yeah, I think Andy left. He's like, fuck these.
I can't believe that.
No, I'm here.
His Big Dipper.
Big Dipper.
What does that have to do, Ray Bradbury?
I bet it was 451 degrees in there too.
No, I was literally sitting here just thinking, like, if somebody made Kevin Bacon a sandwich and he eats it on television or a movie, is that 1 degree?
Ooh.
Oh, the sandwich would.
Well, would it be the woman who?
Okay, but the person would be 2 degrees, right?
If it was made by the woman who yelled at Mars at Subway tonight.
She didn't yell at me. She didn't yell at me. She was just fucking mystified that I live with a beautiful woman. She was just like, whoa. Like, I think she called the police probably after.
Because you're with a beautiful woman.
Yeah, she's
Not
like,
that you live with a beautiful woman, that a beautiful woman lets you see her naked.
You can't even shower with a beautiful woman without taking off your jeans.
Here's the thing. I'm like
Can we
probably.
remake Word Science? Can we remake it?
No.
Yes,
Yes.
we can.
No, we can't.
We can make it faster and better.
No, we can't make it better.
I want to remake it with Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart. And they're both
God, yeah.
confused over who.
Wait, who would we make? Like, who is like the
Helen Mirren.
Oh, what the?
Me. They'd make me. I am 3/4 blind, so you could be walking around my house naked and I wouldn't know.
Is that why you walk around your own house naked? Because you
Dude,
don't know?
Dude, I never I don't even like.
Boy, this suit needs ironing.
There doesn't have to be a beautiful. There doesn't have to be a beautiful woman in the shower for me to want to wear my jeans in the shower. I hate being naked.
Why?
Because I look fucking like.
Yeah, but you don't have to look at yourself when you're just around.
I know, but I know other people might see me.
Oh, okay.
It looks like a fucking. I look like the bad guy in a fucking Puerto Rican stadium match fighting Abdullah the Butcher.
What a reference!
I'm hairy and fat. And nobody knows who I
thought
am
you
and
groomed.
Bald, huh?
I thought you groomed.
Not the front. Well,
you don't groom the front?
You mean you groom the back?
He's completely bald on the back.
Guys, I totally shaved my ass, but I leave the bush.
Not my.
Do you cut it off at the taint, like
Not
halfway?
Not my chest. I mean, I have a hairy chest.
Why don't you shave that then?
That'd be a lot of work.
You can nair it or something.
I'd like to though. There's gray in there now. I don't like it.
You wax it off.
I do. I look like fucking like Hercules Ayala, one of those wrestlers that you don't know who they are. Chicky Star, like one of those guys who you just saw that they feed that door to the butcher. Yeah. Literally looked like he was fucking sweeping up before, and they threw a singlet on him and threw him out to Abdullah the Butcher out in the crowd.
That's what you look
That's
like?
what I look like. It's
All
not
right.
good. Maybe I mean, Cocklossus is still in good shape, but like the rest of me is a fucking mess.
Corny's stuff is in good shape.
Speaking of that, did you see it, Raven Shadow?
What's that?
When he stayed there?
Did you see it?
That's a yes.
Down boy.
What?
You got very excited about that.
Well, I'm interested to see if
See it. We had dinner on it. It was fucking huge.
He was at the Lucky Dog.
That's true.
Or Cove, rather.
Cove, no.
Did you take him? You didn't take him in the alleyway?
All that happened that night was Donna Matrix yelled at me for stuff, which is pretty much every show now.
So in the chat room, we got Jesse G. He says, I
made Jesse G with my sperm.
No, you did.
I did.
All right, maybe you did.
See?
Carlos says, hey, everybody, late to the party. The song sounded good on my new sound system. I think he was talking about Double Damage. Oh, excuse me, Double Damage.
I was singing in some song. Is that it?
That's it.
Yeah.
And then Evil Corny says, my cousin's gospel group was called the Fairfield Four.
Nice.
I called the group, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? So he screwed up.
That's okay.
And then Carlos says, Weird Science starring the Trick or Treat Radio crew. Yeah.
Oh.
Did you know that the Fairfield Four got their powers through going through cosmic rays?
They get their singing voices. All right, we got two more voicemails. Since I mentioned his name, why don't we hear from Carlitos?
Yeah.
Carlitos.
Hey, Trick or Treat Radio, it's Carlitos. How you guys doing?
Doing good, brother.
It's been a few weeks, so I thought I'd call, and if you guys don't mind, I'd like to share a couple of movies that I've seen.
Yeah, absolutely.
During the downtime. So first up, I didn't watch this week's movie, Molly, but I did see, I think it was last week's movie, The Devil May Take You. And this is a treat. It didn't blow me away like The Night Comes for Us, but this was a pretty solid horror film. And that's it on that. And followed that up with a couple of stinkers. I saw China Salesman, a Chinese movie featuring Mike Tyson and Steven Seagal. Yeah, this wasn't very good.
Were all the other movies broken?
Convoluted and boring plot, and really the only highlight was Mike Tyson shouting, "You serve me pee or you die," and that was it. Yeah, skip that one. And the second stinker was Tank 432.
Yep.
And
stinker.
This was a boring, unremarkable movie.
Yep, boring.
Ben Wheatley's name is attached to it, but don't be fooled.
Right.
If you didn't enjoy It Comes at Night, this one was disappointing in a very similar way. So, trick on those last two movies.
Yep.
But things picked up a bit with the next two movies. Checked out a movie called By Bust. This is now on Netflix, and this was a pretty awesome movie. I first heard about this movie listening to your podcasting compadres, The Cult of Muscle, when they reviewed this movie with It Comes at Night, and decided to check it out, and it's really awesome.
I stopped watching this when you came and picked me
The
up.
fight scenes, it's the fight scenes definitely do not live to Raid standards, but if you just take it as a whole as a straight up action movie, you're gonna enjoy this quite a bit. Has a really cool look, has a lot of colored lighting, very Argento-esque or Mario Bava like in the lighting department. A lot of colored lighting, dark. I like the cinematography, the setting's really good. It's better viewed as like a really epic siege film. And but them fighting within, trying to get out, and it's really cool, and you guys should check that out. And finally, the movie Jailbreak, which is the movie I posted about on the Fib a couple days ago, and this was cool. So this actually leads to a question. What'd you guys think of it if you watched it? I did say the fight scenes are on par with the Raid films, and if you just wanted to see if you guys agree. And that's it. You guys have a good night. Hope it's not too cold over there. I heard it's getting pretty wintry over in that side. No, Asia, go away. Don't go away. You're like, I love you. But anyway, she's trying to touch the phone. But anyway, just want to see what you guys think about that. Hopefully nothing's getting too freezing in here. My neck of the woods, things are looking a lot better. I know California's been in the news lately, but without saying too much, without the fear of saying something stupid and insensitive, I'll just say is it's been raining in the past couple of days, which is a good thing. So anyway, you guys have a good night, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
All right, Carlitos. Mars, what are you doing?
Yeah, I didn't want to be rude
What
and
are you
interrupt
doing?
him. Put your fucking headphones back on.
What were you doing? Turning the mic. I lost it.
No, he didn't want to hear the spoilers. If there's any
There's no
spoilers,
View on your balls.
I didn't know.
You didn't know.
I'm like literally Aries picked me up, and I'm like halfway through by bus, and I stopped it. Not even maybe. So I didn't want to hear anything like.
That is there like justification for that name? I don't understand the name.
So
By bus.
they're at the beginning of the film, they're orchestrating a bust with like a buy with a big drug lord, and they're gonna bust. They're doing a bust.
Yes,
It's
like
like
a deal going on. They're gonna bust the deal up.
Yeah.
That really just sounded like a Raven Shadow explanation for a movie he hasn't watched.
Well, I haven't finished it yet, but that part I have seen.
Did you see Jailbreak?
And I understood what he was saying.
Huh?
Did you see Jailbreak yet?
Yeah, tonight there's gonna be a jailbreak.
Carlito makes me happy.
I haven't
Yeah,
yet,
he's
but
awesome.
I need to wait. On the Fib, he compared it to the Raid, so I need to wait till.
Well, that's what he said. He said that he thought the fighting was up to par.
I need to wait to till I forget about that, so I don't go in with some sort of unrealistic space expectations that can never be met.
And for the record, I gave you the weird look because you very rapidly made a motion and then did an I Dream of Genie pose for 5 minutes.
Wow.
And it's been getting cold up here, but we're not on fire, so that sucks.
Yeah.
I hope,
hopefully you're okay. I've seen some of your Carlitos posting some pictures of some pretty fucking ominous shit.
That's
so
bad. It's bad.
And I did I hear correctly? Was that whole thing started from like a couple doing like a gender reveal for a child? Did you guys hear that?
Well, I kept talking about campfire. I didn't know
They did they had like a campfire, and it was for like they're filming.
Surprise! It's an inferno.
Yeah, like they're filming like a gender reveal for a child that they were having, and the fucking fire got out of control, and now people are fucking dying because of your fucking carelessness.
Wait, what do you mean gender reveal? Like
You've never heard of a gender reveal?
Well, I mean, like
if you're expecting,
he still hasn't. His parents
The
hasn't
gender
done it
reveal
yet.
was in Arizona.
Oh,
just
okay.
To
Oh,
clarify.
okay. All right.
I don't-
Once
I
again,
don't
see,
know if
Andy is
they-
on the ball.
Andy,
I don't
you
know
want to
if
come back
they ever
next week?
clarified the California wildfires.
Okay.
Like what caused?
I haven't. I go in cycles of following the news, and I just happened to catch a headline, and so I didn't really read up
It's
on
fucking
it.
California. That's what caused the California like wildfire. The place is fucking like North American Australia. There's nothing good there. There's black widows. The ground fucking rubs together all the time. It probably fucking like that's how you make fire. I went near Boy Scouts before. Like
One time, and now you can't.
No, there was the
Jesus.
time. There was the time on the Boy Scouts trip to Treasure Valley, though, that Tiny got thrown out of the Boy Scouts for abducting Boy Scouts from another troop and tying them up or something
That's
like
not
that. I
good.
forget exactly what happened. Whatever. He's tiny. He can
Yeah,
do what he fucking
scouts.
wants.
Scout leaders get in trouble for that all the time. So the scouts themselves can't do it either.
Nah, whatever.
By the way, Mars, I just messaged Jakey, and he gave me an ILY2. You know what that means?
Yes, it's not true though.
YL.
ILY.
I
Think about it.
I love you also.
Yes.
Okay.
Very good, Raven Shadow.
Wait, that's an extra letter though, right?
What? ILY2? I
love you too.
You.
Right.
It's not an extra letter. It's 3 letters.
I'm gonna fix this right
Pizza's
now.
gonna send out food.
All right, we got one more voicemail, and we're going overseas again for this one, Raven Shadow.
Shit.
Return voicemail from our boy Vesa
My man.
from Finland.
All right.
Who speaks much better English than
Hello,
all of
Trick or
us.
Treat Radio. It's Vesa once again, and I just wanted to call you back about the Nurse Betty review because Raven Shadow was wondering why my fiancée doesn't like Renée Zellweger, and she told me that it's because every movie she's in, she's crying, or then she looks like she's about to cry, which is kind of peculiar reason, I guess, but I think it makes sense, and I feel about the same if I think about it like that. But still, she really enjoyed the movie a lot, as well as me. So no worries there. And then I wanted to also say about the vinegar syndrome thing, that it's too bad you didn't get to do the interview, but I hope you do someday.
Yeah.
And I must say I definitely overspent this Black Friday on their sales. I spent over $1,000 when I combined the yearly package price and and a few hundreds that I spent on other stuff they were selling, like the Mausoleum Blu-ray, which many people seem to be really excited about it. And I've never seen or heard much about the film, so it's all new to me, but people are really excited about it, so I have pretty high expectations for it. And the slipcover version of it sold out in less than 24 hours, so I think that's their fastest selling title they've had so far. But you can still get the standard slipcoverless version from them if you want to get it. And yeah, then also Raven Shadow was hoping that I would come to Rock and Shock sometime, and I definitely do want to do that, but I don't think it will be happening anytime soon. It's kind of difficult when you have a kid and family stuff like that, but I really try to make it my goal to make it there some year. It would be really awesome to meet you guys, and ever since I've been a fan of your show, I always feel a little sad in October because I can't be there with you guys. But yeah, I think that is all for now. So, see you guys next time. Bye.
Awesome, Vesa. Always great to hear from you, man.
Yeah, it's good to have him back.
That dude's awesome.
And maybe I don't know. We'll have to work on the logistics of it. There's so much that goes on Rock and Shock weekend, but it might be awesome to see if we can do some more live streaming of it. For obviously, I know a lot of people can't make it out there. We do have a lot of folks that are able to make it, but maybe we could try to do some sort of live feed or try to do some more live feeds for stuff like that. So.
And we're also working. It may not be yearly; it might be bi-yearly. But Matrix, and pretty soon, when this end of things come in, we'll be working with Wolfie to do a cool thing in the spring. in April or May. So we're gonna make it worth traveling for as well. It'll be the only difference will be if you're coming to if Rockin' Shock your draw is Linda Blair, your draw here will have to be Monster Zero or Moraz. So you might not want to come from Iceland.
Yeah, Finland.
Huh?
Finland.
Moraz is very popular in Finland. So yeah.
So did any of you guys check out the Vinegar Syndrome Black Friday?
I looked at it longingly.
Yeah, I took a look at it.
Did you guys see that they just slipped out a new fucking film on Black Friday just without any fanfare for the children?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have any of you guys seen that film? Have you seen it, Andy?
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen the children.
Yeah, long time ago.
In Mausoleum, I mean, I can't remember if that's a good movie or not, to be honest with you. Like, I remember that cover art for sure, and I almost bought it, but I decided not to, just because I had a couple of other Black Friday purchases.
It's been on Prime a lot, like just when they dumped that whole bunch of like really low quality bottom barrel horror, like low fidelity. I mean, but bad quality. Like so was Incubus, coincidentally, which they just put out not too long ago. So.
Yeah, I mean, I did buy. I think I bought Body Melt with the slipcover before that sold out, and Nightmare Sisters.
Nice. And I'm sure most will agree the best Vinegar Syndrome releases are the worst horror movies, right? Like.
Right. I mean, but here's the case in point is like I'm so behind on, I'll buy stuff all the time because it's like, oh, it's limited edition. I don't want to miss out on it. But I have last Black Friday's release of like Liquid Sky and Disconnected that I still haven't watched.
Right. And it's also funny, like, I bought like when they put out all the Blaxploitation stuff a couple of years ago. I haven't opened any of that, but I've definitely revisited Night Train to Terror and Raw Force again. So, like...
Raw Force is amazing.
Yeah,
I love that movie so much.
That movie's insane.
So with the children, one thing I noticed about it is I actually saw Michael Gingold posted, I guess him and your buddy, Mars, who we had on the show, Glenn...
Danzig.
Beasley, yep. Was that it?
Glenn
Danzig.
Let me tell you about the children.
Yeah. Tell your children not to walk my way.
Let me see. What is Glenn Beasley? Yeah. So apparently him, Mike Ingold, and Glenn Beasley had went out and recorded a bunch of I don't know if it's a bunch actually, but they recorded some featurettes for the for extras for it.
Cool.
Which is pretty cool. So
I keep meaning to track down that Phantom of the Opera thing.
I think it was the Return to Ravensback. It newly produced locations then and now featurette. I think that's what they worked on. So yeah, pretty cool that they did that. But yeah, it looks crazy. I mean, it's a 2K remaster from the original 35 millimeter. But yeah, I've never seen the children, so I'd be curious.
It's the one where the kids have acid hands, right?
That I don't know. Yes, yeah. Looking at the synopsis, yes.
Yeah, this is the one from like 1980, I think.
Yeah, Trauma put it out for a while too.
Yeah. It was apparently shot back to back with Friday the 13th and shared a lot of the same crew, and has a score from Harry Manfredini as well.
Nice.
So
that movie actually scared me when I saw it the first time.
Yeah.
Just something. It's one of those things where like the badness of it like scared me. You know what I mean? Like there's something like extra quirky about it because it's not right. Like, and there's definitely at least one it wasn't graphic. It was sort of bloodless. Where like imagine like turning it on halfway through and a little kid stumbles into the room and somebody fucking cuts their hands off with a samurai sword. Not good.
Not good.
Not what I wanted to see. Yeah. I know I feel bad now, like because I haven't talked to Glenn Beasley since he was on the show last. So.
Oh really? Yeah.
I'm a bad human.
It was a while. I had him maybe like 4 years ago, so it was a while.
I loved his uber no budget Light and Dark trilogy of films. Actually, the Tenement is my first. My first box art review.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I don't
Very,
know if I said that right.
very cool. And Vinegar Syndrome had I didn't look into this, but apparently they offer like a subscription where you can buy all of their releases in advance.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
costly,
look,
but it's worth it.
yeah, exactly. Like if you plan on buying all their releases regardless, that is the better deal because A, you don't have to worry about like any sellouts, and B, I think you do a little bit of cash, and you can do it as all their releases or like just horror and exploitation.
Plus, you get like
cool.
like little limited edition trinkets that go along with the package, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a really cool idea. I think that's great that they do that.
Yeah, and their horror, on the horror and sex stuff, like the resale value, So say you get something you don't want, like, you can almost always turn that shit over.
It's like Apple products.
Yeah.
They retain the value.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So yeah, and I apologize, Vesa. Obviously, we originally had tried to get Brandon from Vinegar Syndrome on, but it was just poor planning on our part that we had actually tried to get him on like 2 days before Black Friday. So he was literally working on product until like midnight, and he said I'm still not done. So he was very apologetic, and we wouldn't want to get in the way of his work anyway. So we'll plan a time to have him on when he's not so busy. So maybe after the holidays when things clear up for them. And they also have a retail location as well that they just expanded too. So it wasn't just the Black Friday sale online. They have the archive, which opened up a new basement part of their location as well. So pretty crazy. We'll have to take a field trip down there. So
that'd be great. Those guys don't like us.
I think Brandon likes us. I don't know.
Nobody really likes us.
All right, fine.
Just ask Andy.
I love you guys.
Aw,
Shush.
shucks.
I know who doesn't like us.
Who?
Jacob, and it's all your fault.
What are you talking about? Jesus Christ! What is going on
It just
here?
boils down to no one likes you.
Oh.
You say that like I'm shocked.
No, I'm just not. But just don't like project it on us too.
Well,
people like us.
I saw that earlier. It's probably the best thing ever.
Yeah, hey man.
I'm fine. I can drive. Hey man.
We're just staring at a picture of Skeletor, who's drinking a martini and putting olives in front of his eyes. For
I've not had enough yet.
Actually, I was
Beast Man, you drive.
You're looking pretty good there, stinkhor.
Come here, buzz off.
I was watching what the fuck is it? The He-Man Christmas special?
Get over here.
Super Friends?
I'm gonna change your name to Manny Facials.
Oh.
No, it was the He-Man and She-Ra holiday special.
Yeah.
Which always threw me off because I'm like, why the fuck are they celebrating Christmas in Eternia? But I forgot it was because Earth Kids was transported there.
Yeah, because she's from Earth.
But He-Man's mom was.
Yeah.
She was an astronaut. But how the fuck is She-Ra and He-Man brother and sister? Anybody know that?
He-Man.
They shared the same parents.
Right. Yeah, that's how that works.
Yeah, but there's King Randor and the mother from Eternia, but she lives in another land. So
you totally bought fucking Bubba, Devon, and Spike, but the two blonde-haired, blue-eyed cartoon characters are more than you can handle.
But where did she come from? Was she like sent away?
You need to watch your She-Ra.
I watched a little bit, but
She was at the university.
The university. What? She got pregnant? They had to send her away.
Jesus.
She was at rehab.
Here's another funny picture for you, MZ.
Yeah, I've seen that.
What was her name? Zelda
Rubinstein.
Yeah. There's a picture of her. It says when you're busy saving Carol Ann, and then the bass drops, and she's like, her hair's
got the wind.
Yeah, the wind. Yeah, with the hands in the air. Yeah, it's good stuff. All right. So, anyone else have anything to get out before we wrap things up here?
I'm sorry, Andy.
Why are you sorry? Jeez.
Yeah, I'm not sorry.
Aries, I'm always going to remember tonight not as the night we finally had.
By the way, has anyone seen the Christmas Chronicles yet with Kurt Russell? Kurt Russell
no, but
is,
I want to
yeah.
For whatever reason.
It looks pretty amazing.
Well, I want to see it now.
Well, it's on Netflix.
I love Kurt Russell.
I know you do.
Who
He's your homeboy.
He's probably
Democrats.
my favorite actor.
Of all time?
Up there. Living actors? Oh, sorry, working actors.
Working
That was it.
actors.
Yeah, that's the. I don't know what the needle dropped about, and I don't know why working actors were so fucking hard. The directors, I'm gonna fucking have to go to bed confused. It's like I liked it, but not as much as this one. Oh, the needle dropped there.
Well, you know what? I gotta ask, what dead actor do you like better than Kurt Russell? You specified, so there's gonna be someone dead.
Carrie Fisher.
Yeah, I mean, she's a very fine actress.
Don't answer for him.
I gotta help him.
No, you don't.
He's still technically my tag team partner.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's millions of dead people that I like their films.
Lots of dead people.
Why do you ask him anything?
Because it's fun to put him on the spot like this.
Yeah, and you know what it does? It elongates the program by another half an hour.
Millions of dead people that I like. What are you, a fucking necromancer?
Yeah, that's what I do. That's what me and Ollie are into. That's what we did, after Thanksgiving dinner.
We conjured some dead.
Yeah, fucking the Duke, he was there.
I like Ryan Gosling more than Kurt Russell.
He's not dead.
If
Although
looks
I
could
wish.
kill.
Ooh.
If looks could kill, he'd be lying on the floor.
You'd be lying on the floor.
If I had my way, he'd be lying on the floor.
He'd be stepping over your fucking dead body.
You'd be the driver.
Why do you want to beat him up, Aries?
Because he's so
horrible
jealous.
actor.
He's not a horrible actor.
Horrible.
He's a bad actor.
No.
He is so
Gosling
one-dimensional.
Is a wooden.
All right, who here has seen Good
figure.
Guy? Who here has seen The Nice Guys?
He's a.
I want to.
A cardboard standee
Nice
has more
Guys is great.
personality than
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling.
No, you're wrong. You haven't. How many movies have you actually seen with Ryan Gosling in them?
Say again.
How many movies have you being you,
Me, yeah.
You being you,
actually seen, as in with your fucking dumb broken eyes, with Ryan Gosling in them?
I don't know. If I had to take a guess,
the ones
maybe-
we've done for the show, at least.
And I saw La La Land and.
He wasn't fucking a wooden. I only saw part of
And
that, but
what
he
other-
wasn't a wooden.
I
stand-up
also
in that.
saw another movie that he did. I can't remember the name of it.
Lars and the Real Girl.
That's it.
Oh, you didn't see
That's
that?
it. Yeah.
That was good.
Did you see
Yeah.
Crazy
It was
Stupid
awful.
Love?
No, because it looks like a crazy, stupid movie.
I'll be honest, that movie's pretty entertaining.
Yeah, I love it.
Blue Valentine's a really good
Yeah,
one.
Blue
That's
Valentine's
fucking
great.
devastating.
I'll give him credit for his directing ability. The
Lost River.
Lost River is great. Yeah.
So boss.
That's a good movie.
I like that one.
His band is the best band on fucking
That's a
planet
good
Earth.
movie.
Yep.
It's like Rush and
I think
he belongs behind the camera, not in front.
Mars.
No.
I think Andy might be challenging you for the love of Ryan Gosling.
That's
Uh-oh.
I'm just saying that I think if you saw some other movies other than like the Refn ones, where
Than
he
all the
kinda
ones
does
that
the
I've
same
seen of
thing.
him so far.
Name one.
I said Crazy Stupid Love or the Nice Guy specifically.
Yeah, I haven't.
Yeah,
seen,
watch
I
The
haven't
Nice
seen
Guys.
Nice
That
Guys.
takes place. That's a Shane Black movie.
Yeah,
That is
place around
a good
Christmas.
movie. I
Perfect
enjoyed that
time.
movie, and he's only a little bit outside of his cardboard cutout of himself.
Come on.
I mean, I wouldn't say that's a good reflection of his flexibility as an actor, but it's fun.
He's got no flexibility.
I mean, yeah,
Not Mars's
no,
dreams.
Hell, whatever.
Let me tell you something. This action figure of
Prince
Adam
laughing
has more personality.
I will not listen to any fucking acting or like budget things that you have to say about
I don't
anything.
care
'cause
if you have to
like
listen to me or not.
the worst, shittiest movies ever.
I don't
and
care
then you
if
say
you-
they're
I
good
don't
acting
care.
in them.
I don't care.
That's the cast of Psychos in Love are outstanding.
I love Psychos in Love. Don't rip into Psychos in
Yeah,
Love.
but those people are all bad actors, and that's a bad low budget movie. The
No,
people in
it's not.
Butt Crack are all bad actors.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Let's keep going. How long can we keep this argument going?
No, it's not. Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
I can't. You can't say any actors are bad and then say I love Butt Crack.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't. Unless you talk about Ryan Gosling, then you can say I love Butt Crack.
You like Ryan Gosling's butt crack, I know that.
I like all of them.
What is going on? All right, leave me the fucking.
My
end.
autobiography is going to be
I
called
can't believe you guys
Butt-Cracking
didn't like
Cardigans.
the Goosebump episodes with Ryan Gosling.
I haven't seen him actually.
I can't believe you guys didn't like the
Mars, do
fucking
you
young
fantasize
Hercules.
about? Do you fantasize about him when he's young?
No.
Okay, good.
He's a grown ass man.
right.
She's yelling at me to get it up, take off the fucking dress.
I thought he said, "Get it up." He's yelling at, "Get it up! Get it up! Get it up, Mars!
He's
Come
right.
on! Take some fucking Viagra."
He's holding me up like the fucking Dirty Dancing thing.
He's not Schwarzenegger over here.
We need a Photoshop of that.
Yeah.
I will tell you that will be the only thing that could cheer me up right now.
I mean, the guy might be in shape, but I don't
if
think
a
he's
new-
prepared to do that.
If a new Dead Man's Bones records came out, but that's probably
These
never.
dead man's bones.
I'm still kicking myself in the ass because they did a show in Chicago, and I'm like, oh, they'll be back. Nope.
Oh, it sucks.
I want to see him so bad.
He's a busy man. May not come back, Mars.
Yeah, just to fucking take care of that fucking his old ass wife. She's
Old ass wife.
What's she like 500? They probably had a fucking messed up baby because she's too old to have a baby. Then they named it Esmeralda. He probably keeps it in the fucking locked room.
Evil Corny wants to know: will it be called Easter Shock in the spring, Mars? Is Uno's going to be torn down to build the baseball stadium
I hope
there?
so.
If not, I'm disappointed.
That would get on my good side.
And Carlitos says, "Butt crack."
Thank you, Carlito.
Apparently, he likes it too.
No, he just
He's
likes
probably
butt
never
crack.
seen it.
Yeah, no one's seen it. MZ has seen it.
Are you the only one, MZ?
I might be. There's a good chance of that.
All right, we need to wrap things up here. So,
Yeah, there you
Andy, please let folks know where they can find your stuff.
Yeah, so I'll plug local and then outward. So if you're in or around the St. Louis area, come check us out at destroythebrain.com. Well, obviously, you can check that out if you're outside of the St. Louis area. But come check out Late Night Grindhouse. Again, it's a midnight theatrical program where we show cult and horror cinema. The next show is, it's next week, December 7th and 8th. And again, that's 3615 Code Pierre Noel. And then every 3 months we do a horror trivia night at the Heavy Anchor in St. Louis. Again, you can find all this information on destroythebrain.com. Also, I run somewhat of a show called We Need to Talk About Horror. We took off all of November. Halloween hangovers, man. But
Yeah,
December,
it's real.
Yeah, December we'll be back. So we're actually recording the episode Sunday, and it should be out next Friday. And we're going to be talking about the 2 films from Panos Cosmatos.
Ooh, nice.
Yep.
Look forward to that for sure.
And you can find me on the socials, Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd at Triefy, Triefy. Hit me up. Love to talk to people.
There you go. So it was really a pleasure having you on, Andy, and we definitely got to do it again sometime.
Yeah, let's do it again.
Yeah, this was.
See if we can find a better movie for you guys.
Well, I mean, me and Mars liked it, so
Yeah, what we got? Like a half? It was a half and a half?
I gave it a treat.
yeah.
I mean,
Raven Shadow was, so yeah, we got.
Okay, we were in the majority.
Yeah.
I'm more tepid treat.
Yeah, and he hasn't figured it out all these years that we've been like tabulating things at the end, but MZ's vote doesn't even count.
So no, it was a blast, Andy, and it was it's been awesome having you on and just hanging
So
out with
happy,
you.
man.
And we'll definitely have to do it again sometime.
Yeah, much appreciated, for sure.
Yeah.
So everyone go check out destroythebrain.com and also listen to We Need to Talk About Horror. And if you're anywhere near St. Louis, definitely check out Late Night Grindhouse. I guess we do have stuff like that around, but we have to drive to Boston, which is, almost an hour away. So
Yeah, Coolidge does that, right?
Oh that's where I saw Suspiria with Claudio Simonetti's Goblin. So they always have cool stuff, and they used to have was it Jay Cannibal, MZ? Was that the guy's name who did the?
Oh yeah, Jay Cannibal. Yeah,
he used to host the midnight movie, like what they used to do, like one every month or every 2 months or something. But I don't know if they do that anymore.
No, he stopped doing that years ago.
They still do have some midnight stuff. So I mean, they do have a lot of great stuff there. But it's not impossible, but it can be a hike to get out there sometimes. So it would be nice if there's something a little bit closer. But But if anyone out in St. Louis area, if you are within driving distance, definitely give Late Night Grindhouse a look and go hang out with Andy. So let's go around the room and we'll say our goodbyes. MZ?
Arrivederci, douchebags.
Aries? Goodbye. All right, Raven Shadow.
Live fast, love hard, die with your mask on.
Mars Man.
Remember, children, wherever you go, there you are.
Please
just end it. Please just finish me.
The episode or your life?
You're the one pausing for dramatic effect over there.
There's a legend that if you pause for dramatic effect long enough, you'll get crushed by a safe or an anvil, and I was hoping.
Sorry, I left my anvil in my other pants.
Ooh, Aries the anvil.
That's funny. I thought you had
Mars,
room
you
for
need
both.
to cheer up before I come back on, all right?
All right, I promise. So I'll just be ripping out my childhood in a few weeks. So.
All right, so big thanks to Andy. We had a blast, and appreciate everyone who sent in feedback, everyone who checked out the live show and hung out with us in the chat room, and obviously all you folks listening on the podcast, at home, in your car, at work, listening in someone else's car. I don't know where the hell you're listening to us, but we're thankful that you did. And if you guys have not done so, feel free to give us a 5-star review, especially on Apple Podcasts. If you're on there, just take a minute or two and give us 5 stars, and also say a few words, what you like about the show. Tell people what they might enjoy about it to help us get some more exposure and move it up the charts. That's what we're hoping for. And we appreciate it. Next week, we're doing December Cram Jam. I know everyone is so excited, including Aries and Raven Shadow especially. And next week, we're doing 2 Netflix picks. We're doing Elang, The Wolf Brigade, and Cam. So feel free to play along at home. And since we're doing 2 films, we won't have a specific question that we ask folks. But if you guys want to send in your thoughts on either film or just thoughts about anything in general, we just won't have a specific topic. Please feel free. Podcast at trickortreatradio.com. We always love hearing from you. And that is going to do it for episode 331. So we appreciate you guys tuning in, and we will see you next week.